I bless the rains down in Africa. Gonna take some time to do the things we never had. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Wasted Local Talent. This week, Daniel and Jed sat down with Lauren from Wildflour. If you like food trucks, you'll love them. I would tell you more about them, but that's what this interview is for. Check them out at wildflourwv.com and on Instagram at wildflourwv. Don't forget, we are still accepting entries for our Christmas giveaway. Anyone that wants to win some free stuff, you have until December 21st to enter. Did I mention that you can win free stuff? All you have to do is subscribe, leave a review, or like any of our social media pages. So many ways to enter, and so few of you who have entered. Prizes include swag from Loving West Virginia, Trash Mouth Press, Wild and Wonderful Lifestyle Company, J Parade, Vertical Vixens Pole Fitness, Thunder Prince, No, Bull, Essential, Oils, Ignite Entertainment, Huey Newton, Gurus of Gaming, and 13 Palm Trees Podcast Productions. If you like the music that you hear in all of our episodes, it's a song called Bender. It's by a little man named Pat Cole. He plays bass in Worst Kept Secret. He loves Narnia, excessive toe hair, and jars of mayonnaise. Check them out on Bands in Town by searching for Worst Kept Secret, and on Instagram at Worst Kept Secret WV. Also, check out Wasted Local Talent at 13palmtrees.com/wastedlocaltalent, on Instagram at wastedlocaltalent, and Twitter at wastedlocal. Now, let's get to the episode. Sorry you had to deal with me today. Daniel refused to record this week's intro due to the Cowboys playing the Eagles, in which Dallas won. Hold up, we dem boys, the boys are back in town. How's about them Cowboys? Y-E-E-T spells yeet. Yeet is love. Yeet is life. And Jed, you can yeet my ass.
What's up, everybody? I'm Daniel.
And I'm Jed.
And today we're wasting our talent with...
I'm Lauren Talbert with Wildflour.
So, Lauren, question for you. I'm a big 90s fan as far as music genres go.
Who isn't?
Did you name the company after the Wallflowers?
No.
It's Wildflower.
But it is good. Yeah, Wildflower.
Not Wallflower.
I'm just deaf also, apparently. I am dying.
F-L-O-U-R.
Bald, blind, and deaf. Jeez.
No, Wallflowers are great.
Oh.
They are.
Well, that's really cool, though, because that's like... So it's Wildflower. W-I-L-D-F-L-O-U-R.
Mm-hmm. I love
that.
puns.
I like that a lot. I like dad jokes, and it's kind of like a roundabout dad joke.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, you could have a little fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're based out of Fairmont, correct?
Yeah.
And explain to us exactly what you do.
Well, we travel around. Our favorite thing to do is to go to festivals and stuff, go around the state because we like to travel, but we like to be around locally and park. We serve lunch, usually between, lunch, noon hours and early evening, and we switch up our menu. It's based seasonally. We try to get everything locally that we can. If not, we get organic, support other local businesses. We get some of our bread from the Little Red Hen Bakery downtown.
So what are your, you have seasonal, you obviously don't go out during the, December?
Yeah, we're getting ready to winterize the truck because, I don't know, this is our first year. I don't know how late
Because
other people...
winter is coming.
Yeah, winter is coming. It's a little scary. I don't drive the trailer, so I wouldn't, I don't know. I would not want to bring that thing out. It weighs like 11,000 pounds, so I can't imagine hitting some ice with that.
Yeah.
It would not be good.
So I know I actually have some friends that have been interested in starting food trucks. What kind of process do you have to go through to actually get that off the ground?
It's hard. It's still kind of a gray area in this because it hasn't really taken off in West Virginia. So when you go and you talk to the city people, the health department, it's like they get out the book. They don't really know exactly what to tell you.
Right.
So you're kind of like this first group of people, you're kind of making the rules, which is nice, and you have a little bit of leeway, but I'd make sure you get a truck call the health department first, because some people I know have bought trucks, and the amount of work they have to do to bring it up to that code, it just puts you in the hole immediately. So
Yeah.
know what you're getting into before you go buy, because a lot of them look shiny and really cool, and then you get them home and it doesn't have what you need.
I'll make sure that I don't recommend them to listen to this episode so they don't cause any competition for you if they decide to start.
we
it.
love other vendors, because I feel like the more people you have, the more
That's true.
it brings. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like what's it? The rising tide carries all ships. So I mean, the more you have, I mean, I get tired of eating my own food, so I want to eat at other places. I hope that more people come in and start up. It is. I mean, you know, it's growing. It definitely is growing. I mean, every couple months I'll hear of a new truck starting up. So. Cool.
So what kind of schedule do you keep as far as like what days during the week do you go out, and typically where do you go?
It's harder to find places to park than we originally thought, because you have to get permission from the property owners, and there's some people that want to help small businesses, some that don't. So we're really thankful. Like AutoZone down here on Merchant Street, they're always like, come anytime. Like if there's not another truck, you're free to set up. Like there's people like that are great, but you're relying on other people for your location. So
Right.
It gets a little dicey. I mean, there's been times where we get everything packed up and you're on the road and you're going somewhere and you think you can park and there's somebody there. And so you have to have your plan B. And, you want somewhere that has good visibility and traffic, because, I mean, you can rely on social media a little bit, but really you need the visibility to get people that'll just drive by and stop. So I don't know. I'm hoping to find more spots in the spring.
What got you started into it? I mean, have you always cooked?
Yes. It's just our family business. My great grandparents had a restaurant for 50 years in town.
Wow.
My grandma,
Here?
yeah.
Wow.
And my grandma's restaurant in Whitehall, she's been open for 24 years this October. So I grew up there. I mean, when you grow up in the business, I started waiting tables when I was like 13.
Yeah.
I guess I can say that now because I'm like, it wasn't child labor. I wanted to work, but yeah, you just work up, and it's just your environment, and you just pick up stuff over the years. I mean, it's great to have a mentor like that. Like she was just always like, yeah, whatever you need. I went to culinary school, and I'd come back, and she'd be like, whatever you need, I'm here. Whatever you want to learn. She's always supportive, still supportive. Could not do it without my grandma or my mom.
That's awesome.
Got to have family.
That's great, because like for the longest time, I never really met anyone that worked in food service because they wanted to. It was like they just did it out of necessity.
is.
And a lot of people do that, and then they do it for years and years and years, and they get burnt out. And then I remember I met a friend's sister who just loves it. Like wants to own her own restaurant one day. Like
You have to love that pace.
yeah, and
It's
that
a
was the
quick
first
pace.
time I met somebody who like it was what they loved, and it was so awesome because normally you talk to a lot of
Yeah,
people who
it's like,
serve, and they're just like, oh
I had to
my
do it
God,
in
I
college
hate
so I
this.
could pay my bills.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
need to pay my bills.
Yeah. No, I love it. I can't imagine doing anything else. And like yesterday, we were in Morgantown, and you're on the truck, and it gets insane. Like we were just slammed, and you're like, why do I do this to myself?
Well, and it can happen out of nowhere too, right?
Yeah.
You could just be sitting there.
Yeah, because we were
just
taking
nobody's
like
there.
orders from people walking up, and then we were also taking vendor orders via text. And you're like, they probably think like, why are they going so slow? And I'm like, you get frustrated, but at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, I couldn't do anything else.
So you get orders via text?
Yeah, we did that yesterday because the vendors that were set up, they can't leave their booths because they're selling their stuff. So we would take their orders and then have somebody deliver it to them just to make it more efficient for them, make sure they can eat. That's why Megan is great. Like she covers all the bases. She's like, I want to make sure they can eat, that they're not sitting there all day, or she'll have people come over and watch the booth so that, can leave, go to the bathroom, because it was packed up there. It was packed. She probably had like 15 more people vending than she did in September. So.
And where was that at?
It's at the marketplace on Spruce Street in Morgantown.
Okay.
The Handcrafted Cooperative.
Okay. So menu-wise, I know you said you try to buy locally and organically. What type of menu do you typically have? Is there like a set thing? I know you said you switch it up every, but
Yeah, I mean, we usually have a mix of salads, soups, sandwiches, and like meals, but I don't know. It really depends on. There's so many factors. The weather. I don't know. Just what people are. If you've been in the business long enough, you start to see this like trend of what people want in certain seasons, or like I don't know. I'm that way. I mean, if it's cold and rainy, somebody wants like a hoagie or soup or something. I mean, it's not rocket science, but you can't be out there selling cold weather food and it's cold. But I try to get everything from local farmers that I can. That's one of my favorite parts, is going to the farmers market and just getting to talk to the farmers, because they care about it as much as you do. I mean, when you care about your food, you want to have the best produce, the best meats and everything. It's hard to make it sustainable here, just because you're working with your prices, trying to hit the bottom line. But I'm horrible with that, because I just love cooking so much that I just want the best of everything. I mean, you're just like, but I don't care. Like, that's cool. I want to serve it to people and work with stuff that's neat and unique. And we have great farmers markets. I go up there to the Bridgeport Farmers Market. We go to the Morgantown Farmers Market, so I can hit 2 markets in a week. And if I can't, I'm buying organic, everything that I can, so that, people get the best.
Well, I didn't realize that it's like a whole ordeal, that there's actually like, it's not like you just go there and you just buy
you make
like
a day
stuff.
of it. Yeah.
But there's like food trucks
Music,
there.
yeah.
There's like events that are happening. Like, I never knew that.
They do demonstrations up there. Yeah. They
Which
have like
food
the chef
truck
tent.
food is like, if I could just eat nothing but food truck food for the rest of my life, I would.
So
I
what's your
absolutely would.
favorite thing you've had off a food truck?
Out of a food truck, it would either be a burrito, because food truck burritos are the best. I mean, come on. Or there was I got this cornbread thing. It was at, what's the con in Morgantown? Or Morgantown, not PopCon. Pittsburgh.
Steel City Con?
Steel City. It was at Steel City Con, and they had a food truck there, and it was like, a white chili that had a big piece of cornbread in it with like diced jalapenos and like pulled chicken.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, remember whenever we were talking before this episode, and I was like, I'm gonna fight this hangover the way that I normally do, and that's by waiting to eat as long as possible.
Oh, no.
I am so fucking hungry right now. Like,
That's why I told him. I said I'm eating before I come, because we always talk about food and then you get super hangry and
yeah, I'm so hungry right now.
Yeah, it was like last night after finishing up the studio, I forgot that the night before, Michael, my brother, had ordered pizza down here, and I took home the leftovers, and it was a full pizza. And I got home last night, and I was so hungry, and I just laid in bed with this box of pizza on my stomach and ate over half that pizza.
We're gonna shout out to Michael real quick, because he has one of the weirdest quirks with food.
Oh, yeah.
He will not eat something that is left over, regardless of what it is.
no.
He absolutely will not eat it.
Well, I would have starved by
If it's
now.
older than like a couple of hours, won't touch it.
Yep.
Well, I guess there's no need for a microwave then.
Yeah.
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 No.
Now he'll drop it on the floor and eat it off the floor.
I understand.
Like,
that.
like it's not. I don't think it's a dirty thing. It's just will not
it's-
eat leftover food,
Unless
which
it's-
is awesome, because like when we're here,
Unless it's Ken's.
I was going to
He'll
say
eat leftover
Chinese
Ken's?
foods
Oh,
is
yeah.
better
I've
the
seen
it.
second day.
wow, that's crazy.
That's typically, depending on the time of day that he orders it, because if he orders it early in the day, he'll eat half of it and eat half of it later that day. But if he orders it at night, he'll put it in the fridge and then eat the rest of it the next day.
The exception to the rule.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it is Ken's. So, I mean, come on.
See, but
Yeah.
like what I don't get is some leftover stuff is just better. I think honestly it's better leftover. Like I think leftover pizza is better because I take my leftover pizza and I warm it up in the oven.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
dough sucks up all
So
the
then it gets
flavors and
crispier
everything. Yeah,
and it just tastes better, you know?
there's definitely things that taste better that way.
Speaking of dough, beforehand we were talking.
Great.
I don't know
segue.
if this is like really dough. I mean, I guess it's, gluten free. You do a lot of gluten free on your truck.
We try
correct?
to make sure we have gluten-free
Good segue.
bread
Good segue.
every time we park. Trying to switch all our other recipes over, and because that's a big deal. I mean, a lot of people have celiacs or intolerant, and I don't know. That's just important to us. I mean, a lot of people really don't care. They just do it. But we care about people, and we want to make sure they have options. I mean, that's frustrating. So we have a couple recipes that we do that are like normal items, and we're working on swapping to gluten-free flour because there's some good options, good cup for cup options, but with the hush puppies, it's going to take a little experimenting and babying to make sure they turn out exactly right. But yeah, we like to have options for everybody. All through, we usually try to have something that's vegetarian, and I think if we're able to expand our menu, always be able to have a vegan option as well.
That would really hit a lot of areas, especially for a food truck, because food trucks tend to have like limited options.
That's probably my biggest problem is I just want to make everybody happy because you just like our motto is like share food, spread love. Like that's just such a great way to connect
Share
with
food,
people.
spread love.
Is
Like that.
is over food. I mean, like how many times can you just sit down with somebody you don't know, you just start sharing food and it just conversation flows. You make new friends.
Several times a day with Daniel because he forgets who I am. So
You're right.
That's
Yeah, it's
good.
kind of an awkward thing to do in a restaurant too. You can't just go sit with somebody and be like, "What's up? How you doing?"
I think you
kind of
should.
did, though?
Oh, I
think
agree.
you
I agree.
should.
But just the way society is, they yell at you if you sit too close to them at a table
Now, see,
if it's an empty place.
I have this dream of like, I don't know if you've ever been up to Hofbrauhaus in Pittsburgh.
yeah.
The big long tables,
Yeah.
like the German
The
thing,
Viking
where
tables.
they make you sit next to people. Because I think that's a big thing. I like forcing people to connect. Everybody's awkward. Like, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, like, it's gonna be awkward to start out, but I mean, like, I'll go to like some farm to table dinners and stuff where you just buy a ticket, you show up, and I mean, like, you just get into some crazy conversations with people over food. I mean, like, I just think it's a great catalyst for bringing people together.
Yeah, probably one of the best atmospheric restaurants that I ever went to was down in Mississippi. It was over by Goshen, Mississippi, and it was called The Shed, I think was the name of it. It was something really simple like that, The Shed or
Yeah.
The Barn or something like that. Tony, if you're listening to this, just text it to me and remind me. But it was like literally just a field with like a pole barn, no
Yeah.
walls. And you just walk into this thing, and there's just 2 or 3 really long rows of picnic tables, and then like a little kitchen area.
Yeah.
And they serve you your food on metal food trays, and all they do is barbecue. So like you just basically pick a meat pretty much, and then they give you your like cafeteria tray, and it just has like your meat, your cornbread or biscuit or whatever it is that they have for that day, and then like coleslaw, beans, and maybe like collard greens or whatever vegetable that they're doing that day.
You have
And
to keep it simple.
That's just,
the
and then
key.
there's no reservations. There's no like, it's just literally just a whole bunch of picnic tables in a row in this pole barn.
Yeah. I mean,
And it was amazing.
My favorite places are, I don't know, you hate to go walk in a restaurant and feel like you're underdressed or you don't belong. Like
I don't
like
ever have
that's-
that problem because I
don't-
always look like shit. So.
Yeah, I don't really, I never care. I went to like a nicer restaurant last night and I definitely had just been on the food truck all day and looked
Yeah.
like wonderful. So, but I was like, I don't care. I'm here for the food. Like that's what you just have to strip all that away.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're there for is food and being with people you care about. So yeah, simplicity is key. We try to keep it simple. I mean, when you go to culinary school, everything's, you're kind of like forced into learning that certain style.
Right.
They're grooming you for, an upscale restaurant. So, I mean, they want you to make money. They want you to go out and work somewhere where you're going to, keep your skill up and stuff. So there's nothing wrong with it, but you start being in this box, and then it's harder and harder the longer you're in it to think outside of the box because you have those people like, this is the way it should be done. This is it. And I still struggle with that because I love the training that I got.
Yeah.
I mean, you learn a lot, but then there's like, I learned from my grandma, and that's some of the best cooking is when you learn from these people who have done it. And that's why I love like the Appalachian cuisine, and it's starting to like kind of rise up and be a thing now. So like before you'd be like Appalachian cuisine, what is that?
Squirrel soup.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, there's kind of like, no real clear thing. And even now it's like turning into like, well, it has to be this or this. I'm like, that's not it. Like, it has to be what it is to you, a fusion of your family. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be certain things. It's just, what's in this area, because this is such a melting pot for people.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
my family was Pennsylvania Deutsch, so they were German that settled up in Pennsylvania, but they brought all that in here, and then we mix it with like the Southern, and then the Appalachian stuff with the apples and dumplings and things like that. So that's kind of what we are. We're just like that fusion of our family and what we cook.
Yeah. I think for me personally, I think Appalachian cuisine is necessity cuisine, right? Like to me, the pepperoni roll perfectly embodies what Appalachian cuisine is, because it's literally, simple. What do you have available to you right there
Well, they're
to
ingenious
make, to eat?
things that they come up with because they have nothing. I mean, it's kind of hard growing season in this area. So what they come up with and what they've made out of it is like
Like
it's
when I think
amazing.
of Appalachian cuisine, I think of pepperoni rolls. I think of trout,
yeah.
fresh trout, and ramps,
Yeah.
Oh, ramps for
and
sure.
apple
season.
butter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Like
yeah.
those. Oh, and buckwheat cakes.
I have,
Fuck, I'm so hungry.
I have a hard time.
I'm gonna eat this microphone.
I have a hard time with the buckwheat cakes. That's something I think you have to grow up eating.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Did you start eating them later in life?
I probably only had them like a handful of times whenever I was a kid. And
Yeah.
then I was in the military. Whenever I came back, that was like, I remember I went to a restaurant and they had buckwheat cakes. And I was just like, oh my God, buckwheat cakes.
Yeah.
So I ordered a whole bunch of them and I still love them. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that's something like the people that move away from West Virginia. Oh my gosh, like to not have that cuisine. That's like one of the biggest things when my friends come back. They're like, they live in New York or they live down south or something. They come home and they're like, I just want to eat. Let's go eat everywhere that I miss, because that's food's
Like
food's
getting a
such
good
big thing.
hoagie, man. Like you go outside of West Virginia and it's just like all you want is a good hoagie somewhere. And it's like they give you the buns that are horizontal
They don't
instead of
understand
vertical,
it,
and
yeah.
they don't connect. So all the juices just drip out
Yeah.
and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's not a sandwich, it's a hoagie.
Yeah.
Traveling a lot too. Like I did a lot of touring in bands, and like around here, it's like quick snack. You just walk into a gas station, grab a pepperoni roll.
Oh, don't you
And
love it
I
when you
don't-
go out of
listen,
state?
I don't know how
and
many
you go
times
like-
I've
There
just
is no-
searched, and I'm like, "Where's the pepperoni rolls?" They're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Anytime,
I just
idea.
no idea
No
what
idea.
you're talking about.
anytime that I go camping, I always stop at a gas station and I get a bag of pepperoni rolls.
Mm-hmm.
And I look for the
Yep.
bags where there's like 12 of them in there, or the mini ones are the best for camping. And what you do is you tear just a little tiny hole in it and you put it on the dash of the car.
Oh yeah,
So the sun
Heats it up.
keeps
That's
them warm.
nice.
that is really good.
Eat all week on these things.
Yep.
Yeah, they do the same thing with camping. That's just ritual.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just get them and go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to the apple butter comment because growing up, my grandpa, who passed away,
In
Quite a few.
1800.
shut the fuck up. I believe every year he would, but he had the big kettle, and we would
The
do
big
and
spoon.
with the stir. Yeah, we used to do that. Yeah, it was really cool, and man, it's just so good. My
I think-
parents, anytime that they can get their hands on apple butter, they buy a bunch of it and always give it to the kids. It's
That's
great
the thing. Nobody will take the time now
to make it.
to make that stuff. So
Oh,
it's
it
like
takes a while.
it's like a dying art, which is sad because I don't know. That's like I'm like anti-millennial with some things because I'm like take the time and do it right. Like don't
Oh, yeah.
don't take the shortcut because I don't know. People don't care. Like family is huge to me. The legacy that my family left me, like I don't want to do them wrong. Like they were in the business for years. They have certain standards, and I don't know. I just want to make them proud and do it the right way. I hate shortcuts.
Yeah.
And my mom, oh my gosh, I love her, but I will not take a shortcut. Like she'll be like, "Can't we just buy shredded carrots?" No, like we hand shred everything. Like it's just you can tell the difference.
Oh,
I mean, it
yeah,
really is
definitely.
like so cliche and silly to say, but like you can taste the love because everything we do, like she hand rolls the dumplings, cuts them out by hand, and like we do like collard greens, we cut up all those, and I mean it's that kind of like Southern cooking atmosphere where you just takes all day long,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day you have a really great meal, so the time's worth it.
So how many mugs of bacon grease do you keep
Oh my
in the
gosh.
food truck?
I don't know that I have. It's hard on the food truck because you have to bungee everything down. So like, there's no just random. Everything has a spot and it's bungeed. But at my house, there's just constantly like one under the sink. You have like all these mason jars where you forget you already filled one up and there's bacon grease.
My wife actually, Jess, she's from West Virginia, but her family's not like super hillbilly like mine is. And
I guess there's degree of
there's,
hillbilly.
there's degrees of hillbillyism. Yeah. And my dad's full name is actually Billy. So our hillbilly level is pretty high.
Yeah.
And yours full name is Jedediah.
Jedediah. Yeah. So like we're rocking.
You got to wear that with pride.
Yeah, we got the hillbilly thing going on for sure. Like most of the time I'm in overalls and Crocs, but I haven't lost my overalls and I need to get another set. So
I just got some Carhartt overalls at Gabe's, and everybody
They're
I
the
tell
best.
makes
They're
fun
the
of me
shit.
because they're
They're
like,
awesome.
Why'd you buy? Because you can do anything in overalls.
I don't mind overalls. The only thing I didn't like about Jed's overalls is that he'd just wear them and never wash them.
Oh.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
You know, you have to tie them up and let them like down in the river and let them beat against the rocks
there you
so
go.
they
Yeah.
get kind of soft. Because when you buy them, you could kind of just stand
Stand
them
them
up,
up.
and they would stand up on their own.
Just flip into them.
Yeah.
maybe I need that for my back. Just buy them and never wash them.
But to me, I'm like, that's like an apron with legs. That's how I look at it. I'm like, I'm really practical when it comes to work and stuff. I'm like, only if it's useful. I always tell people I'm going to buy a fishing vest with, like, label it because I have a really
all your spices.
bad
and, like,
problem
utensils
with
and stuff in
gluing.
it.
Yeah, I lose things all the time. Phone, keys, wallet, cooking utensils. Yeah, I'm just like, you set it down and it disappears. So
Just get yourself a fishing vest and have those little,
I probably shouldn't have said
like-
that. I need to patent that idea before I throw it out there.
and get those like little people have them for like badges that just retract.
Oh, yes,
And just
yes.
put everything on one of those. So
I
like
had
you
those
take
in
your phone out and just
school.
zip right back into the pocket.
Yeah, I had those in school because they're like, medium dice, and you pull, and we had this stretchy, like, little tiny ruler. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I just can't keep up with. Like, I can't care whether my carrots are like perfect medium dice anymore. I'm like, I got too much going on. But yeah.
Jed should have used that on his hair. Wouldn't it go away?
Anyway, so yeah, when me and my wife got married and we started living together, not in that order, but when we started living together, I would always have at least one mug of bacon grease. And my mom and my grandma cook with so much bacon grease, so much sugar. It's great.
There's a lot of butter and
It's
salt
wonderful.
in my family. It's like
Yeah,
when I
salt,
leave and I
yeah.
come back, I kind of like feel like I'm like it's a vitamin I need,
Yeah.
and I'm deficient of butter
You're
and
just like,
salt.
why don't I feel dehydrated? It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, like my body's functioning normally.
Yeah. But she would get mad because I just grew up and you saved your bacon grease. Mm-hmm. You know, you didn't get rid of it when, if you have a mug that's already full, you put it in the refrigerator
Oh yeah.
and,
Yes.
you know, solidify it. So like we got to the point where we had like 3 or 4 mugs of bacon grease in the fridge and one that was like almost full on the stove. And finally one day she was like, Jed, why do we have 5 mugs of bacon grease? And it dawned on me that I had no idea why we had so much bacon grease. I was like, I don't know. That's just what you did growing
It's like,
up.
do you throw away gold?
Don't get rid of it. Yeah, exactly. Like this
That's
is
when
the key to life right
you
here.
package it up and you give it to friends. That's a really thoughtful gift.
Well, I mean, apparently that's not a thing other places though.
Your West Virginia friends.
Because at the time I was in Mississippi and
Oh, down,
people would come over and be like, "What is this gross shit on
There is
your
stuff-
stove in this
you
mug?"
you grow up doing stuff and you're kind of like, why do I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
like smearing it on a pan, then putting your leftover pizza on it.
Schmear.
and-
Oh God, you got to stop that.
Yeah.
You need to get out of here with that.
Now, because our logo has a cast iron skillet, like cooking in cast
I
iron.
love
Oh,
cast
yeah.
iron.
Like it makes such a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot it's like everybody's skillet has its own flavor, you know? Like, so
Ours tastes
I'd
like
cry if we lost
cat
ours.
hair.
I want to know what you're cooking.
Cat. It's the cats. The cats get in it.
It's three cats, and they like their litter box and all that's downstairs, but they just hang out on the counters in the kitchen. That's where they hang out.
They know where the food is.
Yeah. But we also have 5 dogs. So
Oh my gosh.
the counter space is like their safe space.
Oh.
So we put a little bowl for him up there.
My dog's legs are too short. He couldn't jump on my counter even if he wanted
Well,
to. It
we
takes
have-
some serious like dog parkour to get up on my counter.
It's funny. So when we moved into our house, the little terrier that I was showing you before we kicked the recording on, Bubba, I got home from work one day and I was coming home for lunch, and we hadn't been living in the new house for very long. And so I wanted to come home and let the dogs out, check on them to make sure they were doing okay. And I came in through the garage. I think I was riding my bike maybe. I came in through the garage and I'm starting to like go up the stairs. And when you're coming up the stairs from the basement into the house, you can see the counter. Oh. Bubba's on the counter. Full panic mode because he's too afraid to jump down. So he somehow got up there. I don't know how either, because I mean, it's a fairly tall counter and he's a fairly small dog. And he was smaller back then. That was 2 years ago. And I had to help him down off the counter.
Oh. It's kind of an impressive moment. Like
I was like, I'm not even mad. I don't
like
know how
a
you
Ron
got up
Burgundy
here.
thing.
Yeah.
Like, you ate all that cheese?
You ate all that
I'm
cheese?
so impressed.
I'm not even mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ate an entire wheel of cheese.
I'm actually quite impressed.
Yeah. That was my whole goal, was to work in a Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm going to pack up and leave.
Bark twice if you're in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
The only good thing
my
that came
headphones.
from the second movie was the outtakes, though. That was it.
Yeah.
To
No,
me, it
you
was
can't.
basically just the first movie remade.
Yeah.
It felt like it.
You can't recycle jokes. Like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Sorry, I'm trying to get my...
You gonna be all right over there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get this. There we go.
There he is, and he's back.
I have that problem all the time where I'll just like lean my head back and it just falls off.
Your head falls off. You just lean your head back, and it just falls right off. God, you are getting old.
Oh, that happens with my glasses.
Yeah?
I lose this. I'll put them on my head.
I love your glasses, by the way.
These are my friend's glasses. I have to shout out to her if that's okay, because
no,
her
go
name's
ahead.
Jessica Delaney. Thank you so much, because she's the reason I can see right now. I broke my glasses because it's just something I do. I'm clumsy and I break things. So I broke my glasses. It's been maybe like 4 or 5 days ago. I don't have any spares. I don't wear contacts. All I had was prescription sunglasses. So I was wearing sunglasses everywhere, and I looked like the biggest snob
Badass.
in the world. No, I had to wait tables with sunglasses on.
wow.
Oh,
So if you
okay.
can imagine
Well,
walking up to a table and you're like, "Can I get you something to drink?" And
you should have just
and they're
pretended to be polite. Just get the stick and
Well,
just...
it wasn't pretending. Like, by the middle of the night, I had to put them up on my head and just walk around like blind because I got tired of answering questions. So
You should have brought out like a big tray of food over your head, because I know how servers are. You guys
Yeah.
can put like 18 plates on
that's
a
why
tray.
my left arm is stronger than
Yeah.
my right. because
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, when Jess was into powerlifting, she would get so mad because like she would have to work out one arm
Yeah.
like to compensate because she would carry the food. Yeah. But no, you should have just brought a huge tray out with like the walking stick and your sunglasses on, and then like pretended to almost drop it on them.
Oh, I know. I really thought that people would be at least like the littlest bit sympathetic. No, they were like, "You're an idiot." Like, there are older people that were like, "Just go." Like, they didn't want to talk about it. So by the end of the night, I just walk up and I don't even explain anymore. I mean, get
Yeah.
some funny looks, but it's like I'm over it. So then I posted it online, like, "I'm sorry if I look like a snob wearing my sunglasses everywhere." So my friend was like, "Yeah, I've got some spare ones. So they're not quite strong enough. I can't see super great."
So you just
They're
have like
still fuzzy.
crippling headaches.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the food truck yesterday, I'm like, "I cannot read that ticket." Like, it's horrible. And we're delivering food to vendors, and I was like, "Can you just yell out the name of your food, because I can't
Just
see
yell
it."
at me.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, always living with. So there was me, and I couldn't see, and then my mom's working with her broken arm with a cast. So we still made it. We rise above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the key though, right?
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of times you want to just throw in the towel, and you're like, "Why am I doing this? I hate my life." And
I think that every time I step into the studio and see Daniel here.
it's depressing.
Yeah. Just like, why am I doing this to myself?
Yeah. But then at the end, Then at the end, you're hugging. And,
No. No, we just go home and do the same
Yeah,
thing.
we just go home and then it's the same thing at
wow,
home.
living the dream.
I just watch him sit there and eat burritos and fart.
Such
That's
is
the
life.
basis of all good friendships.
Yeah, it really is.
I don't make a lot of money, so I gotta like buy the $3 bags of frozen burritos. and eat
Who does?
those.
Anybody that does what they love, like who does what they love and makes money?
What did you eat the other day? That plate of food, that wild plate of food.
That was the big
I
one.
mean, that was a while. It
stacked
was
full.
like a week ago.
It was
like fries,
rice pilaf, French fries, broccoli and cheese, and chicken tenders.
Oh, that sounds like something I would eat. Too.
And it was, I'm talking like
It was so
heaped.
much
It was
food.
beautiful. But yeah,
It was so much food.
That's the kind of stuff. Because people are like, "Oh, you love to cook. You probably cook at home all the time." I eat ramen noodles. Like no, I cook good for like other people, and then I go home. Because who wants to wash dishes when it's your job?
I don't mind cooking. Like I like to cook for other people.
Yeah.
I don't like cooking food for myself.
Same.
If
Same.
I'm hungry, I just want to get something and just eat and
Yeah,
just be done
yes.
with it. I don't want to sit and cook.
I'll eat the simplest. I eat bowls of rice
Yeah.
constantly.
Now I do have one amazing talent, and that is if I get drunk enough, I can make really good food regardless of what's in the house.
That could make a good TV show.
Like I do it pretty often. Like I'll
I've
just
seen him pull stuff out of the freezer. Like we've got this, and this.
like
what
chop.
was that shrimp food that I made something with shrimp that one night.
That
Remember, it wasn't the chowder.
okay. So
It was a night that I was real drunk and we were like, everybody was hungry, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go make something. And I always make it in cast iron. I just get the
Yeah.
biggest cast iron skillet I can find, mix a whole bunch of stuff together, put a bunch of butter in it,
Yeah.
bunch of salt, bunch of hot sauce, and it always turns out really good.
Now,
course,
I
so we
was
know.
gonna
Drunk,
say, is
so-
it the person eating
It might actually be terrible, and everybody just doesn't want to tell me because they don't want to hurt my feelings, and I love it because I'm drunk.
Well, are you an emotional drunk? Because then they would, they don't want to upset
I
you.
think usually I'm an emotional drunk.
It's probably,
I get real lovey and like I like to hug people. And,
oh, maybe that's your problem.
yeah,
You guys need to hug more when that happens.
I did stop drinking, so
yeah. I didn't.
Cheryl Werthers.
Cheryl Werthers. Yes.
I'll suck on half of it, give it to you. We'll just pass it back and forth. I'll make
Be
sure.
like a really awkward Lady in the Tramp moment.
Please do that. Please do that in public.
On Werthers.
You
I'll
have to
have
do it in public.
yeah, I'll make sure to take my dentures out. So.
Yeah.
I make fun of him because like his body's so old, but like every time I get out of a chair or off the couch or something, it sounds like somebody is stepping on bubble wrap.
Oh yeah, my
My
knees
body
crack
just
horribly.
clicks and pops every time I move.
I mean, people knock on millennial age, but I think we work really hard. Or at least maybe it's all the processed foods like slowly degrading our joints and stuff. That could be also it.
Yeah.
I blame the big
Well,
farm.
statistically, I mean, don't we work more?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
this generation right now works like more hours for less money
Yeah.
than any other previous generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they're like, why aren't you buying houses? It's like, well, working 50 hours a week,
Yeah.
making not
Yeah.
that much money.
And
so.
then when you're a small business owner, you make even more sacrifices so you can do your business. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Michael the other day about it. It was Michael, somebody, might have been Josiah, but I owned Main Street Cafe for 2 years. And after we closed, I was looking back to see just credit card tips that we had made. And it was me and my ex-fiance. I think when in 2 years, split tax-wise, me and her only made $3,000
Oh yeah.
in 2 years. Now, that's not including the cash tips, and we did get more. I think we ended up getting more cash tips, but we didn't. Obviously, we both made so little money in 2 years that we didn't even have to file taxes because, like, we
Oh
just
yeah.
like personal taxes. So, so yeah, and it was tough.
Oh, people
Like,
are always
it's
like, "Oh,
tough.
how's that food truck life?" I'm like, "So glamorous. I'm broke. I can't
You
buy
guys
a
are
cup
probably
of
making
coffee."
so much money. You have so many customers.
And
Oh,
you're
yeah.
constantly working, whether it's like not necessarily being on the food truck, but I'm sure
There's
that
no off
at,
hours.
yeah, like
Yeah.
at home you're like thinking of ideas or like
Well, like
working
you
out
were
this
talking
or
about
that
the
or
hush
this or that.
puppies earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or just shopping, you go around getting your ingredients. I mean, it's stuff you enjoy, like especially if you can go get your stuff from the farmer's market and like it's enjoyable. But then there's like some Sundays you want to just sleep in and you're like, gotta go get those microgreens.
well, it's the same thing with like the podcasting because I do the editing and production for Wasted and D&D kinda, and Wasted is obviously every week, so there's always one day dedicated to that, and then D&D kinda comes out every 2 weeks. But that is typically a lot more editing because I got to edit out like because we get off on tangents and stuff like that and try to like form a good story out of it. So it's like my days off. That's typically what I'm doing. So doing
Yeah.
podcasting stuff. So between my actual job
There's
and
really no days
podcasting,
off.
yeah,
That's not your actual job.
no, I'm about to quit.
Podcast editing is your actual job.
Yeah.
And keeping up with social media.
That's your second job that you do. To,
Speaking of social media, I'm gonna put this out there. If anybody wants to be 13 Palm Trees social media manager, so I could stop doing a bunch of it, that'd be great.
Yeah. I'm just gonna fall off the map for a while. It's so hard to keep up with it. I mean, like some of it you enjoy because you connect with people, and other things are like just answering questions constantly. Like you're just constantly on your phone because you don't want. It's like don't let your response rate go down 5% on
Yeah.
Facebook. So you're like, oh my gosh, I got to answer this or. Working up quotes for people and then they never like follow through. I don't know how many times you just spend hours like, okay, this is what the menu's going to be, and you send it to them and then like you never hear back. You're like, well, that's hours of my life I'll never get back. But
I also feel like we've kind of gotten past the like social media advertising bubble
yeah, we need to
because now
move
now
on.
there's just so much of it. It's just
Yeah, nobody pays
flooded.
attention
Like,
to it.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to ads that I see on Facebook.
No.
I just keep right on
think
going.
there's
Even if it's stuff that's relevant to me that I care about, if I see an ad on Facebook, I just go past it. I don't want to see an ad on Facebook.
I think there's people that can be like authentic and I appreciate them. Like they're totally real about stuff. If I did that, it'd just come off like I was complaining all the time. Because you want people to know the behind the scenes and stuff, but you're like, well, it's not that exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just depressing when you like there's so much work because I mean it's
Like
a
I'm
lot
sad
of fun.
and I'm anxious.
Yeah. I mean it's a lot of work. But
Please come buy stuff.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
noticed from our ads that we've ran just for Wasted, like it'll break it down like by age, like age groups.
yeah.
And it's typically the biggest like market that we actually reach as far as clicks and views and things like that are like anybody that's over 45.
Oh,
Like 8
So they've probably
and
clicked it on accident.
probably. And they just couldn't see it. They're like, oh shit.
Oh God.
But then
We love
even
old people.
younger than 20, because I'll do it from
really?
because just podcasts in general, we probably shouldn't promote this one to anybody under 17 because we do get really vulgar sometimes. But like under 17, there's a lot of clicks too. So maybe just the word wasted, they're like, ooh,
What is that?
what's that? But yeah, like basically 20 to about 35 is just like the lowest categories.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's hard to. I don't even target market people anymore. It's just
I
it's too
just-
hard to be something for everyone. You know what I mean? Like you want to be able to serve everybody, but I mean, you guys eat Ian's hot dogs, right?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I kind of want to be like a female. Yeah, because it's like you can't be
Maybe a
everything
Yanny.
for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, I don't believe that the customer's always right. I mean, like I grew up like that was what my family's like.
Yeah.
Customer's always right. You do everything, you bend over backward. But my gosh, the customers these days are awful. I mean, like people just aren't as respectful anymore either. So I mean, like you don't get like the normal request you probably did 50 years ago. People were respectful. Now they'll dog on you for anything, and you're like, I'm sorry. Like you try everything you can, but you can't be everything for everybody. So you have to find your niche and do that well, and everybody else can just get out.
I think it's like, everybody has gotten so used to chain restaurants. chain everything.
Oh, well, people
Everybody's
just,
gotten used to Amazon.
they will come up and ask for things that are not on the menu.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I think
Yeah.
I think everybody to some degree is guilty of it where
Oh, yeah.
you know, you're used to everything is easy to do, everything is accessible, you know,
Oh, I'm an Amazon
everything is
shopper.
catered to, and then there's no understanding that, you know, for small businesses, like that's impossible to do.
Yeah, you don't have the funds. You
No.
can't expend stuff. I mean, people
No.
that want extra things. I'm horrible because I just give stuff away. I don't know. You want the best for people,
Yeah.
but then you're also like going broke because
Like
you just give
that
them
was
stuff.
that was one of the most awesome things about Vermont was like Vermont doesn't
love
really have
Vermont.
big businesses.
Oh no. No,
And
no.
so you've been to Vermont.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you know how like a lot of the restaurants there don't even really have a menu.
No.
Like when you walk in, there's a chalkboard and
Vermont's
they just
a little anomaly, man.
they just put on the chalkboard what they're making that day.
That's kind of what we would want to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
But it's you can't. You have to
But
have
the
a
people there
balance.
understand it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they
No,
expect.
that was kind of like maybe 6 years ago when it was first like in the talks of a restaurant. That was kind of the plan
Yeah.
because I've been to Vermont. Like that's where my brother went to school in
love
Burlington, and so like we were always visiting him. And you're like,
Beautiful up there.
it's another world. You're like, wow, this exists. Ben and Jerry's ice cream came from here. No wonder. Like it's magical.
No advertisement.
No, there's no
No
billboards. There was no Walmart.
No Walmart. 2 McDonald's in the entire state. It's great.
No, I love it up there. So you're just like, West Virginia has the same
Vermont
beautiful
is like the
resources.
goal that I have for West Virginia.
Yes.
Like Vermont is proof
and we
that
love going
West Virginia
to
has
Maine as well. They keep things simple. Like we went
Yeah.
to Maine, like I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, and we stayed in like a tiny house cabin. It was on
Nice.
a farm. They had built a bakery into their house. So you woke up in the morning, you'd walk across the farm and get fresh bread. And then on Tuesdays and Fridays, they would have pizza. You'd call in your order and you'd show up. It was like BYOB, bring your own wine. You'd just sit down on the picnic tables in the middle of the farm. And I'm like, simple, ingenious. It wouldn't go here. No. It's sad.
I feel like
sad.
having a restaurant like that where it every day is just basically whatever you want to do. I'm not sure how well that would really do.
Cost wise, it's hard
Yeah. Well,
because you put out new things and it doesn't carry over. And yeah.
I would be, I think it'd be safe to say that like the community in itself not so much wouldn't accept it, but they would go there and realize that it was different every day.
Well,
and
you're a
being
creature. I'm a creature of habit. Like I go and
Yeah.
I already
Yeah.
know what I'm going to order when I show up because I try to. I'll branch out, but it's really hard for me, which is horrible because I appreciate like when people put new things because I do the same thing and you're like, yes, they tried the special, but
Well, that I mean,
you want to. It's consistent.
Yeah.
You want the consistency.
but Vermont is also kind of unique in the fact that like nobody there does one thing.
Oh no,
Like
no,
you
you're
go to a
you're
restaurant,
a dabbler in everything.
Yeah, you go to a restaurant and it's like they also make clothes and jewelry
and play ukulele on the
furniture.
side.
Yeah, and then they have a band also that they do.
No, that's literally like
And they
that's
have,
my
like, a
goal in
huge
life.
stack
Like
of
I want to
firewood out front
dabble
that they're
in
selling.
everything. Yeah, that's kind of our goal.
Yeah, which that was another really weird thing about New England
Mm-hmm.
is like nobody there, like they don't sell firewood the same way that we do down here, which is like such a simple thing. But they just put all their firewood out at the end of their driveway by the road, and then
Yeah.
there's just a sign that says like, "Take one bundle, it's $20," and there's just like a bucket
Yeah.
that you leave your money in, or like a little mailbox that you leave your money in, or whatever.
Oh, see, if I could run away and move to New England right now, I would. But
I mean,
love
you
West
have
Virginia.
a food truck. You're very mobile.
That's kind
meet
of
the
my goal in
requirements.
life is to be
It's to betray
very. Yes. No, I like being mobile. Like that
us.
was
We're canceling this episode.
I mean, like
Sorry,
being
guys.
able to like say if you were to want to go up to Steel City Con or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
being
like-
able to do things like
Yeah,
that. you
no,
could
that's
do,
yeah. No, I'm just
I
giving
mean,
you a hard time.
I've been in the restaurant business, and then like I had a restaurant previously, and you get stuck in that kitchen, and you're like, oh my god, I just want to see like you don't even have windows some
There's
places.
sunlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the food truck, you park, and it's like you get a different view every day. It feels like you're in a different restaurant
Yeah.
every day, which is the coolest part. That's why I don't think I could give it up completely ever because I'd love to just like move into a van and drive the food truck, and travel everywhere.
That would be awesome.
that's the long term plan.
Yeah.
I did have a question about as far as, so I know there's you have to get permits to park in certain places. Is that based on county, or can you do a whole state?
I wish you could do a whole state. They're
So
not
you
there
still-
yet. But I think it's because the food truck thing is so new. So I mean, when we do those events in Morgantown or in Harrison County, you have to go get a temporary permit. You can get permits for each county, but you have to go through the long process
Okay.
for each county. So we have ours for Marion because we park there, and you have the health department come out and inspect and everything. The Morgantown one is way more in depth, obviously, because they have so many more restaurants and everything. They're tighter on their stuff. And so we do temporary permits. So that adds another thing. Every time you want to do an event, you got to get your temporary permit, pay that fee every time before you set up. So there's just so many things like you don't
How
realize.
expensive? Like, I mean,
Temporary permits are $50, and you can, I think, usually we just do them for one day. I think you can park in that same spot for up to maybe 5 days, but usually we're just doing like a one-day event.
so it'd be like almost $10 a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not as bad as I
But
was
a
thinking.
statewide one would be,
It would be-
amazing.
yeah.
It really would. But like, I mean, when you go to Southern West Virginia, those health departments are a heck of a lot different than up here. Like, I've walked into some of those and yeah, they're different. Yeah. But that's another part of it is the paperwork. Paperwork is killer. Anybody that was looking to open a food truck, number one, I'd say find somebody that owns a food truck and talk to them. Like, we did the same thing. We went, like, to the SIP station. She has her truck around
Oh, I
town.
love the SIP station.
Yeah, shout out to the SIP station. Kim is amazing. She always comes and checks on us, or I'll post her stuff, and I'll be like, oh, I just wish I had one of your smoothies. She'll just show up and bring me a smoothie. Like, that's how nice
That's
she is.
awesome. Yeah.
And then Dummy Dumb Cupcakes, she just started up this year too, and she sells her cupcakes out of the truck. Like, go talk to people that know, because there's absolutely, like, the city people, like people that you go to that you need these permits, they're not going to really know the whole deal.
You kind of have to tell them what they need to do.
Yeah, like I you can make a full book of tips and things and everything, because there's certain things you have to do before others, and they always seem like that. How is that the order? You know, like you have to go get this first before you get this, and it's a lot of learning.
You could write a book.
Yeah, I was just about to
With
say
all-
you
with
could be
all my
like
free time.
you could be like
Yeah,
the
true.
regional food truck coordinator.
Or you could do a
That
food truck
makes it sound like I
podcast.
know a lot when I'm just still learning. But like I want to pass that on. You want to help other people,
Yeah.
because I know other people are interested in it. But I'm like, you really have to know what you're getting into. Like, definitely do it, but just be aware. Because I know when we were looking at, like, even just getting your truck, do you get a truck? Do you get a trailer? We looked at both. Like, truck is great. You have everything on it. You can drive it. What happens if your truck breaks down?
Yep.
You're out. Like, that's why we went with a trailer, because you can which happened to us. We
rent a U-Haul truck.
Yeah, we snapped the frame of our first truck in half going across the 3rd Street Bridge over here, because
wow.
it's just, it was so heavy and the truck was older and it just snapped it. So then we were borrowing trucks, but at least you could borrow
You could
a truck
still-
and still,
Yeah. Still.
Yeah.
because you don't want to be completely down and out. And so there's a lot. And then, like, we bought one in Columbus. It was fully outfitted with the fire suppression system, had all the extinguishers and stuff like that. All the different counties have different rules on that stuff. So I was like, better go safe than have to.
As much as you possibly can.
Yeah, because they are not cheap. To put in a fire suppression system is like $10,000 sometimes. So, I mean, know what you're doing. Like, do not go buy a thing off Craigslist and then come home and realize you just you need to put in like $15,000 more dollars. So, yeah, it pays to research and talk to people for sure.
So as far as that goes, like if somebody has any questions about it, if they want to ask you,
Anytime, because I've had people that have done the same for me, and to just pay that forward anytime. Send us an email. And
what's your email or Facebook or Instagram? Any of that?
Instagram, you can direct message me. It's just at Wildflour WV. That's the FLOUR. And then our email is wildflowerwv@gmail. And
Not wallflower.
not wallflower. And not just regular wildflower. Yeah.
Was I just like saying that weird earlier today?
You had to
Or did you just not understand me? Or were you just not paying attention?
Maybe it was wishful thinking. You really thought I was
I
that
honestly might be losing my hearing because even now, knowing that it's Wildflower, every time you guys say it, I'm hearing Wallflower.
Are you humming like one headlight in your head?
I am. I have been this entire time, and I'm so glad that you know the song that I was thinking of whenever I made that reference. But no, I don't ever know who we're interviewing, so I do that
surprise.
on purpose. Yeah, I do that on purpose because I think it helps
Yeah,
me
coming
Keep
in
your
the zone.
edge.
Yeah.
coming into the podcasting, like I freaked out. Like the first interview that I did.
We had like questions.
Yeah, well, we wanted
written
to do this.
down
Yeah,
that
we wanted to do this
ask.
thing to where we'd like every week, depending on who we were interviewing, because at that point we had like 5 interviews lined up, and we wanted to do like special questions, like not so much. It was kind of based around what the band or business was. It was more like a trivia type thing about like when was the first food truck invented, crazy things like that. But it got to the point to where like finding all that information every week, we didn't have the time.
Oh, yeah.
Things like that. And then we realized after we actually had 2 episodes recorded that, we had one with Thunder
Just didn't
Prince.
sound as good.
Yeah, didn't sound as good. Seemed too structured.
Yeah, she
And-
said you had to re-record.
Yeah. And with Bastions, that was actually the second time we interviewed him because the first one was very, a lot of it was we didn't have to hit the topics that he wanted to hit. So whenever afterwards, he had messaged us and wanted to redo it. But
Where were you
Should-
going with it?
yeah,
Where were you going with that?
oh my God.
Train
It's
left the
gone.
station.
It is gone.
It's gone. Maybe I am losing my mind.
Well, we haven't hit all my
slowly
bullet
dying.
points.
No.
My big giant list over here with all the
So
things I want to talk
I
about.
do want to try something though, because this is the first opportunity for me to try this with a business, and it could be a horrible fail, or it
will
could
be.
work out really well. It's probably gonna be a horrible fail. But
Okay.
so I normally ask every band that's on here the same question every episode.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I'm
hit
not
you.
at all
gotcha.
musically inclined, but
Oh,
it's-
it's not regarding music.
don't ask me to sing
Yeah,
something.
not
Do
regarding
you
music
watch movies?
or TV shows.
What are
TV
those?
shows.
Could be either one.
Yes.
So describe your business. You can describe your menu, your food, whatever, or like your mantra, your culture, whatever, all of that together, using famous actors and actresses.
Am I supposed to do accents? Is that what you're
No.
No.
No, like pick famous actors. So like,
Oh, that would
like you could
play
say,
my life?
yeah, you could say like Robert Downey Jr. and Tim Allen.
What?
Yeah.
That would play.
No. That represent your business, your menu. Like maybe it's a little bit crazy, so you've got some Jim Carrey.
Okay, like Zach Galifianakis.
Okay. Okay.
Yeet.
I like that. Yeah.
Jeez.
And you can pick specific
hard.
eras, and you can pick like even specific like actors of like maybe
Okay,
one
Mrs.
movie.
Mrs. Doubtfire. Robin
Mrs.
Williams.
Doubtfire. Okay.
Oh man, have you seen Brad Pitt in Burn After Reading?
Yes, I have. That movie is wild.
It's
Wasn't that a
probably-
Coen Brothers movie?
Yes, it's one
Yeah.
of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad hated it, and he said they should have named it Burn Before Watching. But his name's Billy. so-
John Candy and Uncle Buck.
Oh man.
Have you seen the pancake? How he uses the
Yeah.
shovel to flip the pancake.
You don't use shovels to flip your food, do you?
Chris Farley and Tommy Boy.
Oh my God.
God, you're
That's
killing it
one
right
of my
now.
favorite movies.
This
I
is
love that
working
movie.
out really well for businesses. This is gonna have to be
I
a
feel
thing
like this
now.
is like dude heavy. I don't know about some ladies. That's hard. This is a good question.
Yeah?
Because I'd love to just keep going and going. Have you seen John Malkovich in Being John Malkovich?
Being John Malkovich.
Because that's one of my favorite movies.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that whole movie. Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet in Eternal Sunshine.
Oh my God, that's such a good movie.
Just stuff that's out there. I guess that describes us. We're a little bit like that's me.
Yeah.
My mom is more traditional, but yeah.
So a lot of comedy.
Yes. Oh, well, I was
Yeah.
joking with my husband because I was like, I know I'm on here for the business, but I'm really secretly here to launch my comedic career because that's like my fallback plan,
Yeah.
which is a really, really well thought out fallback plan
Yeah.
if the food truck doesn't work.
Yeah, neither one of those are risky financial endeavors.
No.
They're both really
No.
solid.
No, my
stable.
stand up is a sure thing.
Yeah.
If I can just get over
sure.
my stage fright. But I mean, like, have you seen
Just wear your sunglasses.
that? Yeah. And
Yeah.
you know Dee and Always Sunny?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'd be like her up on stage. You know, she's like, I won't do the sound effect, but because that would probably freak people out.
She's a bird.
Yeah. Yeah. That would probably be me until I'd get comfortable. No, I love comedy.
I want to do a thing. I want to describe Jed using a famous actor.
You got some John Malkovich.
Some John Malkovich.
I'm going with Donnie Yen from Rogue One.
Was he the blind
The
monk?
blind bald guy.
I swear. I was trying to think of who that could be.
Man.
I hate you so much.
I had to.
Oh, what was that?
So John
What's that guy's
Malkovich
name?
and the blind
What's in
monk.
Hitman? Is that what you said, Hitman?
Oh,
Ip
Ip
Man.
Man. But Hitman was
I thought you said Hitman.
Hitman was.
Isn't he bald in that?
Yeah, the character is.
Yeah, but that guy was way more badass than Jed.
What is that guy's, what is that guy's name? It's like I can visualize it.
Yeah, I know.
Is that something about elephants? Is that really? Is it?
Didn't he play? Wasn't he the main character in Justified? Or is that the same person? Or am
Oh,
I
we can't
thinking
delve
of
into
different
TV
people?
shows because I could go on for days. This is bad.
No, you got to look it up.
Timothy Olsen.
Timothy Olsen.
I
That's
thought it was Oliphant. Is
Oliphant,
that Oliphant?
Oliphant.
Elephant. That's what
you were right. You were right.
Timothy Elephant. Okay.
Daniel apparently can't read.
Well, it was on IMDb, so it just had the first two letters. So I just went with Olsen because that was the first thing that came to my head. It was OL.
But you were way
See,
off.
did he look like an Olsen sister?
No, he's way more attractive. No, well, the two that were on
I was gonna say they
Full
kind of
House look really
they
haggard
kind of
now, but
look
the
like
other
old
one,
witches now.
yeah,
The youngest one. She looks.
she's good
She's healthy.
so far.
healthy, solid
Yeah.
structure.
She doesn't look like she might wither away and die.
Yeah, I know, right?
She looks
She
like
needs some. They need some food truck.
she
food.
looks like she eats a well balanced diet.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. That's their problem. Is they need to move to West Virginia and eat food truck food.
Mm-hmm.
Calling all
I'll fix 'em
artists come
right up.
to West Virginia and we'll feed you.
Yeah.
You can give them a discount. If somebody famous showed up to the truck, yeah, they get a year free of food. That's a real promotion. we're
Talking to
running
you,
right
Brad
now.
Pitt.
Oh, like a celebrity?
Yeah,
I'm a local celebrity. Just
Yeah.
kidding, I'm not. People fucking hate me.
we're you're Fairmont famous.
I don't think that's
No.
a good thing.
No,
Usually.
no, it is.
Usually, it's
No, it is.
hopefully we can hopefully we can turn that around
Yeah,
for people.
If you're famous in Fairmont, it's usually not for a good reason.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I need to switch my goals up then.
I mean, honestly,
We're
like,
trying. We're trying.
No, I like when people don't know.
Trying
who I
to
am.
turn
Like,
it around.
I like being in the background.
Yeah.
Like that's my whole thing. I mean, I was in theater in high school. No, I can't. No, I don't like being out front.
So your fallback plan is stand-up comedy.
I can make it work. That's what the
That's
problem.
like I'm terrified of heights. That would be like me being like, yeah, my fallback plan is
Tightrope walker.
roof installations.
Yeah,
I can't
That's
even
what-
clean my own gutters. I have to make my wife do it.
you have to. That's how you grow. You push yourself
I
into
would
your
push myself off the edge of the roof.
out of your comfort zone.
Die.
That's what insurance for. You need to get
That's fair.
insurance.
Jess would be okay.
I had something else too. I literally had something good. It's gone. I'm just
You're
not
good.
good. I forgot my Metamucil this morning.
Today. It's not
Something
your
silly.
day.
I did find actually last night there's a Metamucil shirt that I kind of want to buy. It's $17. It says Metamucil.
It's the best $17 you'll ever spend.
I'm gonna get you one that says bald on it, or Rogaine. Get you a Rogaine shirt.
No, you know it would be really weird. And I would totally wear it, even though it would freak people out probably, is just get a shirt that just had hair
Oh, have you seen the fanny packs?
that are hairy.
You gotta look them up.
Oh,
you gotta look
God.
them up.
Hold
It's
on,
like a
I'm gonna
beer
look it up
belly,
right now.
and it's a fanny pack that looks like your shirt's not pulled down.
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
no, yes, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna bring fanny packs.
I already have
back.
a beer belly though, so I don't really need a fanny pack that looks like a beer belly.
But you'd probably need a fanny pack because who doesn't?
Oh, I mean, we have fanny packs.
I need one. It would keep everything I need like in one central space.
They're great.
I lose things a lot. I was just talking to my mom about maybe getting a couple of the recipes tattooed on my arm. Because
That would actually be kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
family recipes, like this is going with me to the grave.
yeah. And,
Or have like conversions.
well, I'd have to have them in like some other kind of code or language.
Yeah,
so
that
people
way.
can't steal it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Does your family have any? I'm sure they have family recipes, but do they have any like specific family recipes that like they only make for certain things, like for certain functions? Because I have a friend. I'll give you an example so that you know what I'm talking about. We have a friend whose family has a really good meat pie recipe,
Okay.
amazing meat pie, but they only make it between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Nah.
It's the only time you're
we
allowed
don't really
to make
have
the
any
meat
like
pie.
time certain. No.
And she made it for us
We have
outside of that time window.
We have secret recipes though.
Yeah.
And I remember being in preschool and they do those like where you're supposed to submit recipes and
Right.
they'll make like a book.
Right.
And I gave out my grandma's dip recipe. And yeah.
Wait, like dip? What kind of dip?
Chip dip.
Chip dip. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, that didn't go over well.
She makes her own chip dip. I am intrigued.
You have to try it
I want to try
because
it.
I can't tell you what's in it. So you're just going to have to try it.
You should,
to find
you
that
should
book.
have it at the food
Yeah.
truck.
No, that's grandma's recipe.
No, she
There's
wouldn't
some
be okay
there's
with
some
that.
things that we do that are similar and but we tweak it like it's just a different
That's like a super
thing.
West Virginia thing that,
chip dips.
well,
Oh.
chip dip is not like super West Virginia. But a lot of people, I've never seen this before. Maybe this is something, I don't know. This is maybe a good idea. It's probably not because it's coming from me. But
You're right.
make chip dip and have it like pre-made and have it in like little containers. And then if people get a sandwich and chips and a bag of chips, you could be like, hey, do you want some dip for your chips?
Well, we could do that, but that's just when we steal it and take it home for ourselves, not for other people. We make them like because my son loves it, which is funny because kids are picky, and this is a really different dip. And we put it in the little cups, and he takes it to school, and he's like, "So and so said that was really gross," and I was like, "You tell them to not talk about your dip."
My family always thinks I'm weird because when I make hamburgers, I take my bun and instead of putting like mayonnaise or ketchup, I put chip dip on it and then I put
No,
a
that's
layer
good.
of chips.
Yeah,
Crunch.
Yep. That's a thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Yeah, we have recipes that are like our family recipes, but what we've learned, it doesn't really matter who you give the recipe to, it's all going to turn out different.
Yeah.
Like, because we do the dumplings, and there's like like, if you put
I'm
like
going to combust.
my grandma, if you put my grandma and my mom, and then my grandma has a prep cook, if they all make the dumplings, they're all just a little bit different. So like you could like, I feel like because she leaves her recipe box sitting out, and like anybody could go up there, but if you really don't know what you're doing, plus
I don't think people realize that either.
this is another West Virginia recipe thing, they're not always exact measurements.
It's a
or
pinch of
you
this,
have
a
to
pour of
have a
that.
special cup. Like we have special cups with like a line on it,
Yep.
and if you don't have that cup, you kind of have no idea what you're
Oh, yeah.
doing.
Yeah. My wife gets upset. Not upset. It's more butthurt than anything. But my mom.
It's a lot of hurt.
My mom. She's a very big butt.
I'm gonna pee.
Shout
real
out to
quick.
Jesse's butt. Okay. But my mom cooks food for Thanksgiving every year and Christmas. And she makes a lot of food. She
Yeah.
hand makes dough and rolls it for noodles and like hand makes gravy and like does all this stuff. Makes all this food. Takes her days. And she's always complaining about it. And I think she just complains about it because she just likes to complain. My mom's a complainer.
Don't say that about your mom.
She is.
Moms are
She's
great.
a complainer. I love my mom. She's great, but like, she loves to complain.
But have you tried to do that?
No.
Making that stuff?
No,
Then maybe
no.
you would
But so
understand.
So my wife doesn't understand the fact that like not all of this stuff is measured. Mm-hmm. A lot of this stuff is just eyeballed. You know, it's not a cook it 20 minutes. It's a check on it every couple minutes until it turns this color, and then do this. You know,
I'll never forget. Like, I mean, I've worked in my grandma's restaurant for years, and then like we branched off and did our restaurant. And even though I knew what I was doing, like she still called that day to be like, you know what temperature to put the pork on, right? And I was like, it just felt good that she was like, yeah, check it in because but like she has very specific instructions.
Yeah, that's like when I do cook, whenever I do my drunken kitchen creations, I never know going into it what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it's like it's impossible for me to recreate it.
But that's that happens to me a lot. Because people would be like, "That was really good, apple crisp," and I'll be like, "Thanks, that was the first time I made it," and I'll probably have no way to.
We're never having it again.
Yeah.
Not topping that.
Yeah.
We're just sticking with what we have.
Yeah, working with making menus is really hard.
Yeah.
People get so personal about food is very personal.
Yeah.
And you get very upset and offended and hangry because I'm the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want things a certain way. And it's just so hard to please like you want to, and making a menu that has something for everybody is like, it's like doing a really messed up emotional Sudoku puzzle. Like you're like, but this has to be here, and you have to do like, you know what I mean? You want to have everything, but it's hard. That's why food truck, you just take a restaurant and you squeeze it, and you're like, I can do that. Like yesterday, we had a Thanksgiving bowl on the menu, and it was pretty much a full Thanksgiving dinner, and that was just one item.
Oh, I'm dying.
Because we did like salt brined herb turkey.
Oh my God.
Cornbread and sourdough stuffing, and then we had homemade mash, and then orange cranberry chutney.
Homemade mash?
Mashed potatoes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that was just one item.
And a cornbread chutney, is that what you said?
Cornbread stuffing. Cornbread stuffing. Orange cranberry chutney. Yeah, so that was one item, and then like I get into it, and it's like 1 a.m, and my mom's like, "Why'd you take on this menu? This is so complicated." And I'm like, "I don't know.
I don't know why.
I don't know why I do the things I do."
Why did I do this?
No, but
And I mean, it's very personal for people. Like we got into an argument yesterday at our Friendsgiving over whether cranberry salad was better than cranberry sauce. Which sauce is so much better than salad. Just throwing that out there.
I think it's all garbage. I hate cranberry sauce. I just can't. Just don't like it.
No. You probably haven't had good sauce. Every time somebody says that, I'm like, you probably haven't had whatever it is you're saying is the good version.
I mean, I just like the canned sauce.
Because people will be like, I don't like sushi. And I'm like, okay, but have you tried this place? They're like, no, I get it from Kroger or the gas station.
I mean,
like,
honestly, I think
why.
Kroger's got some pretty damn good
No,
sauce.
it is. But I'm also like,
sushi. I don't care. I go
that's
this
my
out
favorite
there.
food.
I go to the Grand China in Fairmont and eat their sushi.
I don't think I've ever eaten it there.
I won't eat. Me and him have talked about this before. I will not eat sushi from a
It's not bad. It's really not.
Buffet. It's just,
you got to go to Morgantown.
Ogawa. Ogawa. Ogawa.
They have the BOM.
Listen,
like
I
5 years
live in North Carolina on the shore for 2.5 years.
Have you found sushi better anywhere else?
No.
No.
Than Ogawa? No. I lived in Mississippi.
I love giving them a shout out because
lived in Mississippi, and we would eat at sushi restaurants that were on a pier.
Right next.
And boats would pull up.
Like you could pull the fish up and eat it.
Yeah, and they would literally, boats would pull up and drop off the fish, and then that was the sushi that you were eating. And Ogawa is better. It is better. I don't know how it's possible. I don't know how they do it.
That guy, you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about.
He's got some kind of magic going on.
He's a witch.
And I love him. Like, he came over, and was, like, feeding my husband his udon noodles because he wasn't doing it right. Like, that's how, like, adorable and amazing he is. He's like, no. Like, comes over and just grabs the stuff out of your hands. No, that place is
I think outside of, like, going
amazing.
to Japan, maybe.
Yeah, that's...
Or, like, maybe somewhere in California.
Yeah, some people be like, but have you tried this other one? I'm like, I will never go anywhere else.
No point.
No.
No point.
Oh, I'm so glad we talked about it.
Yeah. My wife and I actually have a tradition where, like, once a month-ish, we will set aside, like, $150. Because when we eat sushi, like, she's tiny. She's, like, so small, but she eats
can put away
just as
some
much
rolls.
as me. And we'll go there and we get 3 special rolls, 2 basic rolls, and then like 4 or 5 orders of nigiri.
Yeah.
And it's like-
I'll joke and I'll like every time I'm like, you're like, oh, can I get you a present or anything? I'm like, buy me a boat. But what I really mean is a boat at Okawa. Full of sushi. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
no, we go for all of the special occasions. And if you go on your birthday, ask them to sing because they don't, but they'll try. And it's really, really because that's like a treasured memory.
Oh, no.
is having them sing. No, Okawa is great.
Yeah.
I could never, like, I love sushi, but I can't even get in that game because they do it so like you can't.
I've
like
thought
that
about
is,
trying to make it at home
I've
before,
done-
but it's
no,
just like, I know
no.
it's not going to be good.
No, I just don't.
I'm not that
I
coordinated
mean, have you
with
seen
food.
the documentary, the
Jiro?
I mean,
Dreams of Sushi?
where he's like, I've been massaging the octopus for 8 years. I hope that I someday get to cook the rice. Like, it's such a like, okay, that's not something you take on lightly. Sushi is not just something you throw together. No.
No, and it's very, I think it's very like Japanese culture.
Yeah, I could not.
The,
No.
the perfectionist.
No. And even their Korean meals up there. Have you ever gotten anything like the hot food?
I only ever get sushi there.
Spicy noodle bowl. Well, I get both. I just eat everything. You know what I mean? And then you take it home, and it's one of those things that's even better than.
I need to try. Is it poke?
There's a place up in Morgantown that I
there?
haven't tried yet. Yeah,
I've never
it's
had it.
pretty
I've
new.
never had it at all. So I need to try it. But I
can-
understand that it's cold.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would like it
Well,
cold.
sushi's cold.
I like sushi cold, but I don't know if I would like poke cold. When I eat stuff out of a bowl, like
Yeah,
I
field
want it to
trip.
be like warm
Oh.
and like.
Do you eat your cereal warm? Do you warm up your milk?
That actually sounds pretty good, though.
Different, but that does sound kind of good. No,
I was,
I actually don't really eat cereal that often, and then
yeah,
like
I've never seen you eat cereal.
Well, when I do, like, and it's really weird. I normally don't eat cereal. I don't really like. I don't dislike cereal. I just don't
Yeah.
really ever eat it. But then every once in a while, I'll get this weird craving for cereal, and I
Yeah.
will literally go take an unopened box and half a gallon of milk. And
And
I'll
eat
get
it
a
all.
big mixing bowl, and I'll pour the entire box in the mixing bowl, and then put half a gallon of milk in it, and I'll eat the entire thing.
I understand.
My wife thinks it is disgusting.
I'm a really like emotional eater. Or if you're watching like a TV show, where there's like
You're
certain
watching
things-
Jim and Pam getting married under the waterfall and just slamming a bowl.
Yeah.
of-
There's
of
certain
cereal.
things that like for some reason it makes you like I start when I was watching House of Cards and he goes to that barbecue place every morning.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want barbecue and cigarettes, and I don't even
Yes.
smoke. Like you just like,
Yeah.
you just get so into it.
I want to
That's
read
the-
the newspaper and smoke cigarettes.
That's-
They canceled
that's
that show because of what had happened with him. Did
They
you
brought
it
see
back.
that they brought it back?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
I
I'm
haven't.
a little
Either.
bit
Well,
behind.
I don't know if it's actually out yet, but I saw an ad for it the other
No,
day.
it's on. It's on.
Is it
it's
on
on
now?
Netflix. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I watch a lot of shows.
I do. Too.
Oh, can I ask a question?
That's a good question.
And you have to answer like honest.
Okay.
What is your guilty pleasure show that you just would never want anyone to
I
know
can't
that you
talk
watch?
about this.
I know what yours is.
Yeah, me and Matt, Matt Stewart, both have the same one, and we were talking about it one
Grey's
day.
Anatomy.
It is. We talked about like how we would get together and cry and hold each other
I've
and
never
watch
watched.
it.
Beautiful.
I've never watched.
I was
Grey's
gonna say it was either that or Gilmore Girls. Is that also?
Anatomy. Listen, I don't
do
think that's a
enjoy it.
guilty pleasure because that show's amazing.
It's definitely a classic.
I don't think that's
So-
a guilty pleasure.
No. And when
that is
I
an
watched
amazing
that, it
Plus,
makes me
Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles wasn't Jensen Ackles on Gilmore Girls? No, he was on General Hospital.
Yeah.
Supernatural, if you don't know what I'm talking about.
I know
Sam and
Supernatural
Dean.
because my
Supernatural.
husband loves Supernatural.
I also love
And
Supernatural.
so we look at, and I'm like, no, his name's Dean. And he's like, no, his name is Sam.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah. So I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that's Dean. And he's like, no, that's Sam. No, that's a big thing in our house. Yeah, I
Yeah.
watch Gilmore Girls a lot. It's a great show.
it is
It's
absolutely.
a great show. And I really relate to the characters. Do you want to know one of mine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Survivor.
really.
I've seen every 39 seasons. Multiple. Yeah.
I
would-
stopped watching that when I was like 12.
Yeah, people are. Yeah, when I say that, people are like, "It's still on."
So okay, so
saw-
I'll say this. Wait,
I saw.
go ahead.
Sorry, I saw the host the other day because I don't watch
Jeff
much
Pro-
TV. Jeff, whatever.
Jeff?
He
Jeff
looks
Prost.
like I didn't realize how much he's aging. Like
Oh.
he's aging like that's not like
He's
bad.
stranded on these islands every year.
Can you imagine? I can't imagine
Anyway.
having his job.
Sorry.
So
I mean, I'm sure he's like, in a fucking yacht out in the ocean, I guarantee.
Yeah.
maybe not a guilty pleasure necessarily, but the one show that I actually really liked, and I always end up getting into this like long, arduous conversation explaining why I liked it. I really liked Lost.
Yes.
I loved Lost.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's
And every
one
time I
that'll
tell
suck you
people
in.
that, they're always just like,
I need to watch-
that show sucked. And I always tell them, have you rewatched it since it's on streaming? Because
Yeah.
I understand people that got jaded with Lost watching it for 8 years.
Yeah.
Because it
No,
takes
I don't do
forever
that.
to
I
develop.
wait till I don't watch shows while they're
Right.
on. I wait till
Right.
I can watch
But if you
them all
sit
and-
down and
Yeah,
you
that's what we
watch
did.
Lost start to finish over the course of
we did that like
2
a
months or
holiday
whatever.
week.
Yeah.
Like just have it on constantly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's really good because
Love Lost.
it
Talking about all my favorite
it
things.
feels like it's progressing well. It feels like it's flowing well.
characters are
There's
good.
a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
The acting is terrible. His wig, what were they doing?
Yeah.
Whenever
Oh.
they put that wig on him, like my God, it looked like he
No, there's
just
some of those
killed an
where you're
animal
like,
in the
this is-
woods and just put it on his head.
Yeah.
I mean, they were on an island.
No, this was whenever they were
know.
doing. You know the scenes I'm talking about?
Yeah, I might
when
do
they're
a
showing
Lost
his
marathon.
flashback
Oh, yeah,
scenes, and he's a doctor.
Yes.
and he's got
Yes.
hair. Like what?
I
was
love
that?
watching those older shows that were on like
Yeah.
mid 2000s or like late 90s. That's why I love Survivor because
How do
it
you
just
feel-
kind of takes you back.
How do you feel about Scrubs?
Okay, so I love Zach Braff so much.
So you like
I've-
Scrubs?
Oh yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I thought you were about
no,
to say
no,
that you
this
don't
is-
like Scrubs.
No. This is how
Ooh,
obsessed
we were about to get
No,
in a fight right here.
This is how obsessed I am with Scrubs. Like when I was in high school, I would binge watch it so much that I would hear Dr. Cox calling him girls' names in my head while I was like sleeping. Like that was like I mean, I'm obsessed. I love all those guys.
Yes.
And the fact that Donald Faison and Zach Braff are like best buddies in real,
friends, yep.
and you see the pictures of them together, you're like, there's nothing better.
What moment from Scrubs hurt you the most?
What? That's too hard.
I know the one for me.
Okay, well, let me hear yours first.
The scene, I can tell you the exact scene and the exact moment. And I'm going to try to not let my voice crack up talking about it.
I'm going to be really quiet so everybody can hear.
But when Dr. Cox realizes that his brother-in-law is dead.
Yes.
I cried.
Yes.
I'm
Yep.
not going to lie.
Yes.
I am trying
No.
to not get emotional right now just thinking about it. And I'm not doing a good job
that
because
is
my eyes
exactly-
are watering up.
I love him as an actor.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was like one of my favorite things I've ever seen him in. Was that,
That
role.
one, another big
And
one
I
for
read
me.
that like he was supposed to just be on for like one episode and he really wanted to play that actor out.
Yeah.
Or that, that whole thing. Yeah. And the photographs, just the photography. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably the same because that one hits you even if you're not
that
watching
final scene, though, whenever JD's walking out of the hospital and that projector's there showing like what's to come, I lost it.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, this can't be the end. And then they came out with that shitty fucking intern show. But
With Dave
I still,
Franco.
yeah, I liked it. I thought it was funny, but it
Yeah.
wasn't
the episode
same.
you're talking about is the one where he gets all the way outside of the hospital and turns around and the lights like go out.
It's
Yeah.
like whenever he walks out and there's like that sheet and it's playing like
And
all
it
of like
plays
what
him
it's not
with-
flashbacks, but it's
him
like
with
the future,
Elliot.
yeah, like kids and
getting
all
married.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that one gets you every time.
I'll tell you another one that kicked me, and it's not from Scrubs, but just another scene that just like kicks you right in the teeth is, oh God, did you hear that? My voice is like, I'm trying
gonna cry?
to stay. Marshall's dad dying. How I Met Your Mother.
that was
Okay.
tough.
Man, I'm getting you guys into some
With
deep
the with
stuff
the
on here.
voicemail,
Isn't it amazing that shows can have that much power
Oh,
over
yeah.
your life where you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
it's like your family.
Like just thinking about it is upsetting.
yeah, like
like
that's
Lily
a
getting
reason
out of
that
the
you
car.
should get off work.
ugh.
Like when you go through something like that, you should be able to call in the next day and be like,
listen, I just
be like,
rewatched The Office.
Derek-
Steve Carell just left and I can't
Yeah.
come into work.
yeah.
Like
or for you, Derek just died.
Yeah.
I can't come in tomorrow.
that wasn't that emotional.
No, like
I kind of thought he was a dick.
Yes, no, that wasn't emotional. What's your Grey's Anatomy saddest moment?
I've never watched Grey's Anatomy, so I don't
Well, there you go. You got a new show to watch.
I can't.
No,
I've tried.
no. Even
My wife loves it,
Even
and
though
I've really tried.
I make fun of it sometimes because you're just like, really?
Oh,
like,
I do have a guilty pleasure show, and I just thought of it. Scandal.
Now, see, I didn't get into that.
So
It has a lot of the same characters,
I
though.
hated Scandal for the longest time, but my wife was just obsessed with it and would constantly be watching
That
it.
was a really
That I started getting sucked into it. And then I would find myself sitting there and, I would catch her looking at me, watching, and I would just be like, oh, this shit sucks.
Oh, it's the same thing. Like, my
Yeah.
husband will be like, he'll act like he's not watching, and then he'll be like, what's going on with so-and-so?
Yeah.
You were listening. Yeah, he knows all this shows.
The plane crash.
Yeah.
The Lexi.
Yeah.
That was tough, but the even more so was whenever Mark Sloan died.
Mark was one of my favorites.
I love Sloan.
Are we talking about Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should watch it.
That was like
They have a
kind
lot of.
I still need
really-
to finish House.
Oh my God. Let's talk about the ending of House. Have you watched House?
Never.
Okay. Well, no, we won't talk about the ending of
yeah,
House.
we're not going
Just
to.
kidding.
You should definitely watch House.
I
though.
should.
House is, it's like Scrubs, House, like my top two.
Yeah.
Like, I've
favorite shows.
watched.
House is very like tropey. So it's a lot like Supernatural, where like every episode kind of has the same
Theme.
theme.
Go
It's
on,
like
sure.
it's like
But-
watching Scooby Doo.
Yeah, but it's also
but it's not about that. It's about the character.
it's this, but it,
Yeah.
it keeps with like a progression of a story. Like you'll have your episodes of Supernatural where it's just like this is just like a one off. Like they found this monster doing this, but then every once in a while they have pieces of the story throughout the season. House
is the same way.
Well, no, because you're getting to a point and it slowly gets there. And if you like, 'cause I've watched House like 5 or 6 times all the way through. You get that just progression of the characters growing and like what they're going through, especially in the first couple seasons. So you're getting to the point to where like House is, getting off of the first couple seasons where he's getting off of the Vicodin and had his leg fixed for a second and stuff. So, but yeah, I love Hugh Laurie.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do too.
I've watched like.
His new show's okay.
What is the new show?
Chance?
Chance they canceled it.
They did? Oh, that sucks.
I'll have
So
to
I
watch
heard my
House.
parents watched it and they loved it and they told me that they canceled it. I'm pretty sure. So
I saw like half the first season. It was pretty good. It was kind of just like House over again because
Just
he's
vulgar.
like he's a so
What
in
about-
House he's a diagnostic physician, which isn't a thing that exists. He made it up himself because he's this like diagnostic wizard, which also isn't a thing, but it's a TV show. So, but he's this sarcastic, snippy, selfish, hateful doctor with like a depressed side and a bad leg.
I think I
and-
need to watch. People call my dad House, and I think I need to watch it because maybe it would give me
that might
a
be
little
an insult.
perspective. Well, yeah, I didn't know. Like after you said that, I was kind of like, oh,
It depends on how they feel about him.
most
He's
people.
kind of an ass.
oh, he is an asshole.
big time.
That's what makes him House though. And
yeah.
like him being that way is what helps him like kind of figure shit
Be a
out.
good doctor.
Yeah.
My dad's a good doctor.
He essentially has an addiction to Vicodin because he had an injury to his leg, and it kind of
It was misdiagnosed.
it was just missed, so
Yeah.
it went, it.
So then
Or I think I forget, but just the Vicodin addiction and like the fact that stuff from his past has just turned him off of actually getting close with anybody, even though like you get those hints that like he really wants to, especially in the later seasons whenever he starts hallucinating from the drug use and the things that he's actually hallucinating and you think is real. That fucking episode, God, I wish you guys had seen it. That episode like blew my fucking mind how they did it. It was so good.
I'm ready to watch.
we got way off tangent. Off topic.
Yeah, that's fine.
Words. This is what we do every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Honestly.
because I
like
love TV shows.
yeah, we try to talk about like things that are important and then it eventually just devolves into us. just
Honestly, the
talking
first
about
45
nonsense.
minutes was all about the business. And then we're just talking about
God, how long have we been recording?
an hour and a half.
Wow.
How is that possible?
It's like Lost. Where the time?
I stopped.
Where are we? Is there a polar bear in here?
I've realized that if we come in and like, hey, we want to try to keep it under an hour, it typically like doesn't seem rushed, but it seems almost like I'm constantly watching that. I think I told you that last time.
Yeah,
I'm just
you have a hard
constantly,
time.
Yeah, so I just didn't say anything.
Conversating.
I think I mean, I have a hard time doing that anyway.
Well, yeah, because you just forget everything. So
Yeah, a few times.
we need to get you a notepad over there that you can scribble on whenever you come up with ideas, so you don't forget it. Or put like a whiteboard on.
I write on
around
my
your neck, and
hands.
you can,
I still have remnants from yesterday of things I was trying to remember. It's like
when I was in the military, I
oil.
would do that,
peanut butter.
and I would see patients, and I would have to like
Yeah.
write stuff down to not forget.
Oh, I've seen that where people triage you right on them, like the time you
yeah.
put the tourniquet on and everything. So yeah.
Well, I would do it like just to remember to like follow up with like make
what
sure
their name is.
Yeah, go back to Trubinsky and give him his
It's always
second dose of
Good,
whatever.
Good idea to keep that, like Dwight. You got to mark the children as they come out, so you don't get your baby swamped.
Yes.
Because I didn't do that, and
Yeah.
I
How do you
realize
know?
I realize
How do you
now
know?
he is, but
Yeah.
back then I really thought they gave me the wrong baby, and I regretted not Sharpie marking him. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, but I was walking around like in a Walmart once, and I realized that I had
Oh, it's usually
patient
written all on my
information
arm.
written on my hand, and I was like, oh boy,
Isn't that like?
probably scrub that off.
I was gonna say, isn't that like violating HIPAA?
Probably.
It's not going to affect your clearance, is it?
Edit that out. No, I don't think so. It wasn't. I don't think it would have violated HIPAA because I didn't have any PII or PHI, either one. But maybe, who knows?
Oh, we don't.
I don't know. It was the military. We did all kinds of stuff that like you just shouldn't do.
Questionable
Like, yeah.
things.
Like I remember one day we were leaving the clinic and one of our docs was like, "Hey," he was a civilian doctor. He's like, "Oh, have you guys ever seen?" It was some minor surgical procedure.
Yeah.
We're like, "No." So we go to do it, and somebody had opened up a 100 milliliter bottle of lidocaine and then never put the date that they opened it. So we didn't know how long it had been there, so you technically
Yeah.
can't use it. And he was like, I'm just
That
going to
happens
use
in
it
food
anyway
business,
because like
How old is it?
yeah. He was like, it doesn't ever really expire. He's like, it's fine. The seal is still on it. It was never actually punctured. They just popped the top off.
Like peanut butter.
Yeah. So he was like, I'm just going to, he's like, so we asked him, we were like, well, we can't use it for patients. Like, should we just throw it away or what? He's like, take it home with you. Who cares? So I took it home with me. And then I just had it in there. And I was like, if I ever need to do a
Perform
minor surgery,
surgery.
like if I cut myself and I don't want to go to the clinic and I need to stitch it. Because I asked my wife this morning,
Yeah.
because she's a nursing student, I was in the shower shaving my head. And I have a little like spot on the back of my head where it's raised up. It's like a little cyst and I want it taken out. So I told her, I was like, hey, will you bring home a scalpel and some lidocaine from work? Because I want to take this cyst out of my head. And she was like, Jed, you realize that like you can't do that in hospitals outside of the military. I was like,
That's kind of
no.
like what goes on in our like my husband like was cutting up a deer and he stabbed his thumb and cut it and then it was like medical bills, fix it yourself, like
super glue. Super glue
Super glue
makes
looks great.
really
well, it was
good
deep.
stitches.
It was really deep. So he went to Walmart and got like an embroidery needle and just sewed it up
Set it up himself.
Yeah.
It's actually not that bad sewing on yourself because if you do it, well, I don't know what pattern he used, but you're supposed to go from the inside out
Yeah.
of the cut, and it doesn't
didn't
hurt
watch.
as much doing it that way.
I didn't watch. He said he did it in the Walmart parking lot. So it looked okay when I came home.
That's great.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta take care of it yourself.
I would just super glue it, honestly.
Yeah, I've done that.
I would just.
There's a lot of injuries that happen in the kitchen, and you just don't have time to go to the doctor every time you get burnt and cut. So
yeah.
So honestly,
just
in that
wing it.
situation, super glue is probably the best. Honestly, instead of having stitches, having to have it covered or anything, just super glue the son of a bitch back up. Just go about your day.
Even if it's deep, I have actually I had a pretty bad cut on my leg once, and I just spread it open and put super glue all the way down in the bottom, and then just worked my way up, and then pinched it together and like pushed all the excess out.
it's like fixing a wall. You just get the sand it when you're done. Did you see it?
Smooth out there. Get
good
some
work.
makeup.
It didn't even leave a
there you go.
scar.
That's good
It
work.
didn't even leave a scar though. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
So we have our food truck is actually a trailer Because I think some people are like, don't call that a food truck. There's no truck.
But food trailer sounds so terrible.
It does. It sounds like what you would have in West Virginia.
Yeah.
That's my trailer. Like, it sounds so sketchy. Like, I cook food in a trailer. You're going to come down and eat my
I'm
food.
down to my food trailer.
Yeah. So that we named
We're having
it.
possum.
Get that food trailer park. Put them all together.
Yes. The trailer.
Food trailer park.
Like Trailer Park Boys. You watch Trailer Park Boys?
I don't.
Yes.
Bubbles.
Hold on. You're not ready for this right now. I gotta
There was
find
this T-shirt I wanted
find
had
the
the Sam
picture.
Squanch on it.
Sam Squanch. Ricky, that's a goddamn Sam Squanch.
I never watched it. I mean, I think I watched a couple
I
episodes.
can't watch
but
a lot of it. I can't watch a lot of
That
it.
is
but-
my wife.
Close. I can't. I'm wearing
Oh, that's
somebody
right.
else's glasses. I'm blind. Oh my gosh.
That was in Morgantown
Where
just
is
a couple
that?
weeks
That's
ago,
at the
right?
rec center.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, old Randy Bo Bandy. That's just the good, wholesome, sexy thing to do, Randy.
Didn't she say he was like recording
And advertising.
advertisement
Oh.
in the gym or something
Yeah.
on like the rock wall or
Oh, we
whatever?
had Jay Leno went to Muriel's like a couple weeks ago. Did you see that?
yeah?
At
I
Muriel's?
want Ron Burgundy
I want Muriel's now.
to come to the food trailer. But
Do you
anyway,
want
we
Will
named.
Ferrell or do you want Ron
No,
Burgundy?
Ron Burgundy.
No, he has to come as Ron.
He has to come as Ron Burgundy.
Yeah. So we named the trailer because it just got really depressing where we were like, you're going to go down to the trailer.
Did you name it Truck?
No.
So you could call it the food truck.
Yeah. It's our trailer named truck. That's good. No, we did a poll online and we asked people and they picked Petunia.
Petunia?
So that's which
Wildflower.
yeah, they picked Petunia. And then I did a giveaway because I posted a picture of a tattoo of Petunia. Do you know what I'm talking about? From a 90s TV show.
That's
And this girl got it and I was like very impressed.
I know what that's so familiar.
A tattoo from a 90s TV show.
Yeah, and its name was Petunia.
And the tattoo's
What
name
was that?
Yes.
What was that from?
Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you gotta Google it.
Yeah.
Adventures of Pete and Pete. Maybe I did see it and I
I mean,
just
I haven't
don't
even
know.
heard that
was-
show name.
I was really impressed that this girl,
years.
she like messaged me instantly. She's like, that's from Pete and Pete. And I was like, yes. So she wants some hush puppies and a sticker and stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah, that's one of our things. We always have hush puppies.
So Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Oh, it's a good show. They have great characters.
I wonder where you could find that now. Is it on any streaming sites?
I don't know.
I haven't seen it on like
I haven't
Netflix,
seen it.
Hulu, anything like that at
The
all.
mom, she had the plate in her head.
Yeah.
And
Oh
Artie.
my god.
Oh,
The
it was
nostalgia.
a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I can show you. My brother dressed up like Artie a couple years ago for Halloween. I was Marla.
Yeah, I definitely
from Fight
have not
Club.
seen that.
I'm a big Fight Club fan as well.
I love Fight Club.
It's a great movie.
It is really good.
We should just. I feel like I'm on here to talk about movies and TV shows.
What are you looking for, Jed?
I'm looking at the Adventures of Pete
Oh,
and
you're still
Pete.
looking.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
I definitely never saw that. Nope.
No. So you're afraid of heights. You need to come to Bridge Day next year. Have you been to Bridge Day? Where they base
I'm
jump?
surprised you
I
would
know what
even
you're
drive
talking about.
across that bridge.
I don't. I just go and I just try not to think about it.
Because when we started talking about doing the food truck, that was the event I wanted to go to. It was like, oh my gosh, how cool would it be to bring a food truck to Bridge Day? And then yes, it finally happened. The first year that I went down just to visit, we were driving my car. My husband was driving. We swapped like maybe 10 minutes before this whole incident happened. I was driving. A giant black bear came running on the road and totaled my car. We killed the bear, but we still made it to
Phew.
Bridge Day. Like we had my car towed to the campsite, got a rental car. We were supposed to skydive the next day. We still made it to our skydive appointment, but because of the weather, we didn't get to jump. But Bridge Day's
Did they
always.
let you keep like the bear skin at least? Since you killed it. I mean, it only seems
Looking
fair
back,
in
I
West
kind of
Virginia.
wish we would have. Honestly, the guy right behind us, like he pulled up and he was like, I think he wanted to take it.
Yeah.
And he
sounds about right.
and he ran up to it before we even really knew it was dead. And
That's not dangerous.
yeah, so I was like, "What are you doing?"
We told our bear story on the first podcast, Jed's bear story, the first episode where he fought a bear in Canaan.
Was that in PopCon?
Yeah, it was in the PopCon episode because they were talking about that.
Did you hear that story?
I don't even
Do you remember that? I fought a bear
It's
in
impressive.
Canaan
with a broom?
with a broom.
That's impressive.
It was
Was it a
not
little
on
black bear?
purpose. No.
No?
It was not on purpose. I did not think that the bear was there.
Were you vacationing?
So we have this yearly event, which we weren't able to do this year, but it's normally a yearly event. And we go up to Canaan and we rent a cabin and we drink a lot. So
That's what Canaan is.
I was inebriated, and the previous year, a black bear had gotten into our trash and strung our trash everywhere. And somebody was like, "Oh, I think there's a black bear outside. Get in the trash." So me, being drunk, I'm like, "Well, I'm just gonna go out there and scare it off." Because black
Like a
bears
giant possum, right?
black bears are not that aggressive unless they have cubs, and then they can be. It was not a very calculated move on my
But you
part.
also just didn't believe us.
I also just didn't think it was out there. So
that was
the trash
Fireball.
can is like right next. Yeah, I had just finished drinking a handle of Fireball.
Yeah. But
So
we what
sharing a handle of Fireball with a friend.
we were trying to
We were trying to get him to go to sleep because he
Yeah.
was like way too drunk and he was
Yeah.
getting on everybody's nerves.
so we just like
The bear.
in the hot tub drinking Fireball with a bear.
oh my god.
No, Josh stayed
So you
home.
went out there to sing, you went out there to sing some lullabies.
Yeah.
There. Okay.
He actually swept him off his feet with that broom. That was really bad.
That was a bad one.
Sorry, continue.
Swept him right off his feet. No, I was going outside to scare this bear away, and somebody was just like, "What are you going to do if it's actually out there?" And I was like, "Scared off." They're like, "You're just going to go out there like that with nothing?" So as a joke, there was a broom next to the door, and I grabbed the broom and I was like, "Here, I'll take the broom." And I walked out the door, and he was literally right outside of the door.
So you chose to fight it instead of turn around and walk.
Instinctively, I just smacked him in the face with the broom.
Well, I mean, that's what they say to do with
Yeah.
sharks, right? You punch them in the face.
And it
Nah.
started to run away, and then at that point, I was like, again, drunken Jed. I'm like, I need to keep chasing it so that it doesn't turn
Come
around and
back.
come back after me.
Yeah.
So I chased it down the driveway.
Memories.
Yeah, with the
Making
broom.
memories.
Hitting it.
I just assumed like as soon as he walked outside, because I have a video.
The
somewhere.
door opens, I go outside, and then I just
You hear
immediately
whack,
disappear.
and then
you
you
hear
disappear.
like, yeah, you hear like a smack, and then I'm just like, "Get out of here, bear!" And then I'm just like running
I
down.
can't.
That's a great West Virginia vacation.
I have a hard drive at my house. It's just like every time I do a phone backup and like just dump everything, it's on that hard drive somewhere. I'll have to sift through it and try to find it so we can post it.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
but
Tag me so I see it.
Yeah.
I gotta see it.
because you can't see anything because it's so dark
Well,
outside.
just sound effects.
You see the door open, and then I, like, right as soon as I step outside, swing the broom and then just disappear into the dark.
You should just use that audio as like an intro. Get
out of here, bear!
Yeah.
so
that'd be
you,
great.
you come back around I forget what you said too, because you came back around like because I was standing in the doorway filming and then you disappeared and you came back around and you said something.
I was like, "Holy shit, that was scary."
Yeah, you're like, yeah, it was something along the lines that was scary, and you didn't even like. I didn't even think it was like there.
Yeah.
But the
So
bear
you-
didn't. Oh, sorry. Good.
No, go ahead.
I was saying the bear ended up getting into Joppy's Jeep and scratching up the Jeep, and I think Lily's truck too scratched up the side of his truck. So yeah,
I would have just like
He
taken
was
that opportunity.
pissed. He was like, "I just got slapped in the face with a broom.
Yeah.
Had to jack these cars up."
Are you sure? I mean, I would take that opportunity to do it myself and blame it on the bear.
I didn't even think about that.
Do they have enemies? I mean,
No, I don't think so.
That was probably the bear then.
Should have just shit.
That's me
shit
and my
in the back of his
my
truck and be like, oh, the bear, the bear came back. Why does it smell like Fireball?
He was drinking in the hot tub.
I feel like I just crossed the line.
No, we go down to Canaan a good bit, and Thomas. You ever stop
Oh,
down
yeah.
there in Thomas and Davis? I think Thomas is like
You know where Aurora is? Mm-hmm. My
Yeah.
uncle has a cabin right
Oh,
up,
nice.
like literally kind of dead center in Aurora, and I spent a ton of time up there.
we
when I was
went
younger.
down to Leaf Peepers Festival with the food truck.
Leaf Peepers Festival.
It's like when the leaves are changing, which this year was not on time because of the weather and everything.
Yeah, and it
But-
also took like 24 hours.
Yeah, and they were
Oh, I know.
gone.
And then
like-
they were on the ground.
Yeah.
It was just like,
yeah. But it's down in Davis every year, and that was another one. Was like I love that area,
Yeah.
so to get to take the food truck down there was like amazing.
Is it Davis is the second one that you go through?
Yeah. Thomas, you come
Thomas
through.
has
It's
the
literally
purple
just
fiddle.
like yeah,
Yeah.
it's such an anomaly. Like to me, that's
I've
like
never been.
oh, it's like taking a little bit of Vermont, that kind of
Yeah.
feel, and dropping it down there, and somehow it survives. And it's amazing to me. Like I love going down there because that whole string of Thomas is just small business, like art galleries and like restaurants and stuff. Purple Fiddle is amazing. We stayed down there in the hostel, like when we went down there, and then you so many good places to eat, like Hellbenders.
Yeah,
and-
Davis. I haven't been to Hellbender yet.
Mm.
I every time I go through there, I want to try it. But they have a like little bar pizza place. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like when you come into Davis, you know where the sawmill is, or is that what it's called? The
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
sawmill.
yeah, right there. Yeah.
I think it's like right after that, maybe.
Is it newer?
It's newer.
There's a newer one. I haven't
It was
been in there.
there, so it was there 5 years ago because my wife and I ate there.
It's not before.
on our
bef-
honeymoon.
Like before was Blackwater Brewing.
Maybe it's Blackwater Brewing.
That's before Sawmill.
That's before Sawmill. Is it? It's on the same side of the road, though, right?
Yes.
Nope. That's it. That's got to be
Okay.
it then.
Yeah, they shut down.
What?
Yeah,
When?
not that long ago. I don't know if they're going to open up somewhere else.
Oh, I was just there like
I know.
3 or 4 months ago.
No, there's like.
No,
that's
it
what-
was longer than 3 or 4 months.
I feel
ago.
so sad when places shut down. It just like because like when you're a small business owner, you just like take it personally. Like I always reach out to people like when I see that happen. I'm like, I know exactly
Well, that's like
how
the
that
place
feels.
in Bridgeport,
Which place?
the barbecue place.
Oh, I didn't get to try there
That was
because
open
they had a
for
truck.
like a month and a half.
They had a truck.
Well,
right?
they started out with a truck,
With the
and then they
truck.
were like, "We're going to buy a restaurant," and then they bought a restaurant in Bridgeport in a
Yeah.
brand new building.
I don't know what other businesses
overhead.
like is
Yeah, I
as
know.
finicky as restaurant business. Like it is so much to think about.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about food service, but they already bought really expensive.
Listen, you
Meat.
can't do that. You can't do that. Well, like you can get good quality stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the overhead.
Yeah,
You can't do it.
Yeah,
you
that's
cannot do it.
they were leasing a building in Bridgeport, which right off the bat,
It's a lot of money.
huge money, and then it's a building that was just built, brand new. So I mean, who knows how much that?
I mean,
Whereabouts? Like, what was the location? Like, whereabouts
That's
was
across
that?
from all
right up
areas,
the street from my
wasn't it?
mom's house. Yeah. it
Oh,
was
so
like
you're
across
you're
from
down
all-
there, like, okay. I
that
gotcha.
main drag right there.
like you know where the Domino's is?
Yeah.
like when you're on your way to school to
Oh,
Heritage.
yeah, that's got okay.
It's like that's right there.
Yeah, that's got to be an expensive spot. That's like my little cupcake moving out of Clarksburg and moving into Bridgeport. It's like I hope they make money.
It's so
like, I really
like
do.
I
'Cause
feel scared for people. Like when I see it, I'm like, oh my gosh, because I know the number, like the numbers and what it takes to
Yeah.
what you have to make each day. To
But
make
then
your
sometimes
payments.
it's usually. I mean, look at Cody's.
Oh yeah.
Cody's. They
Yeah.
got that little restaurant and then just blew up. Now they're building a bigger restaurant already.
That's because he's dedicated.
Yes.
And passionate about it.
Yeah.
I've heard like he takes great care of his employees, gets excellent products.
Yeah, my wife said if he's there, he always like does the portions way bigger than like all the other
God,
cooks
that's
normally
me.
do.
I get in trouble like when I'm working at my grandma's because I just give away food.
But they do the thing
much.
there where they have like, he'll just come in some days and just be like, I want to make this today.
yeah, it's really nice to have that freedom. What I love the best is getting to name stuff. Like we always do funky names. And I like to do. You watch Bob's Burgers?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because he always has the burger special. Like, yes.
I love it.
Yeah, behind like him, you'll see. Like, I really, I didn't like if somebody was like, "What? Who are your culinary influences?" It would be like Bob Belcher. And
Do you have the recipe book for the burgers?
No, I
You
don't. No, I don't.
I
I've
see
seen it
everybody like posting about it all the time, like, and they go through that like once a week. They'll make a new burger. I'm like, fuck, I want to do that.
It's so fun to name the food. That's like the cool part. Like, I love Arrested Development.
I love it too.
That's one of my
I
favorites.
just started that one, like, well, I sort of kind of tried to start it. I tried starting it, and then,
How could you stop?
well,
So
we rewatched True Detective with somebody, and then Sharp Objects came out, so then I was watching Sharp Objects,
I don't know either.
and
of those.
then,
It was pretty good.
so obviously you like comedies. Do you like thrillers?
I have to because my husband watches a
So,
lot
like,
of scary stuff.
Dark, not scary necessarily, but like dark, very mature subject matter, crime dramas.
Sometimes.
Okay,
Sometimes my mind is too dark to add more to
That's how I
it.
feel
So
sometimes too.
I'm like, I'm just can't watch anybody else's crap right now.
So True Detective, I would highly recommend the first season.
Okay.
The third season looks like it's going to be really good. Second season, we still haven't watched it
Duty.
because I've heard
Well,
it was
I won't
so
watch
bad.
it until you get into Arrested Development.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. That's fair.
So
Sharp
you know,
Objects.
you know
though.
Job. Mm-hmm. So like,
Not personally, but yeah.
You know.
yeah.
Yeah, Joe.
No, I love all those characters. But anyway, we had a special at the restaurant one time, and it was like a pasta with steak and everything. I was like, I've made a huge mistake.
I do get that reference
Yeah.
because that's a meme.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, that was like a really big goal in life, is to be able to name a food special after
Have you watched,
Arrested
have you
Development.
watched Community?
No, well, when it first came out,
Yeah.
that's the one with Chevy Chase.
Donald Glover and
I watched
Joel
it
McHale.
when it first, like maybe the first half of the season. Did it get better?
Oh, it
Like,
got
better?
so good.
Well, I love Chevy Chase.
Typical.
What's your favorite Christmas movie? Christmas
Well,
Vacation?
No. So
Oh,
this is going to be a West Virginia tradition also. My favorite Christmas movie is probably either Rio Bravo or True Grit. Because growing up, we never watched Christmas movies around Christmas. We watched John Wayne.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Die Hard.
I've never seen a Die Hard movie, and I really don't want to.
Looking as much like Bruce Willis as you do.
That actually came up in conversation last night.
Have you like rewatched Lethal Weapon
I've seen
recently?
Lethal Weapon.
Like how silly it seems.
Yeah.
Like back then, it was probably like really cool, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is over top. Because we watch Always Sunny, where they like make the spoofs. Yeah, we quote
It's like
that
what?
way too much.
That or like Demolition Man. I don't know if you've ever seen that one. That might be a little
No.
bit too obscure. Sylvester Stallone and
Was that his porn that he did?
there was actually like a
know.
kind of weird sex scene in that
Wow.
movie.
He actually did porn before he got into acting
Yeah.
too. So.
Sylvester Stallone and Blade. Played Blade. Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes, yeah.
Yeah. But that was another 80s movie that was like really over the top.
I'm gonna have to watch a lot of movies this week. Catch up.
I'm trying to think of what else. The Thing.
Oh,
It's like one of my favorite movies ever.
the newest one. Did you watch the newer one?
The like not remake, but sort of like
Yeah.
follow up or precursor. Precursor. Yeah, it was a
when did that come
precursor.
out?
It was a prequel because it ended with
Yeah.
the dog running across the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it actually.
I
I
didn't-
thought it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I don't think it topped The Thing.
No.
But I mean, that's
Yeah.
hard to do.
I don't normally watch any of that kind of stuff, but I have to. I've gotten into it.
So have you ever seen The Shining?
Oh yeah. Of
Okay.
course.
So the movie,
Well,
I don't,
what
it's
was-
okay,
What
but
was really
I'm,
funny is when we had to walk in at the restaurant, we had a picture of Jack Nicholson where he's on the outside of the walk-in.
yeah. Well, I am listening to the book now.
Oh,
I have the audiobook.
audiobooks.
And
I used to think that was
really
cheating, but I
want
love
that
audiobooks.
remade. I really want that remade. Because
The Shining?
there's so much
If they do it
that didn't get put in the movie.
correctly.
See, and I don't know that they could. I mean, it would be so hard.
And his stuff is so... He's got all that funky conspiracy theory stuff going on, too. Like, just... You'd have to have the right person.
I just think, like, it would be hard to do it right. But I feel like they should, because I'm not even done
You know
with
what
the
the
book yet.
scariest thing about that movie is? Shelley Duvall's eyeballs.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
well, like-
how she's like...
Poorly cast.
She
Right?
scares me.
She's supposed to be like really tall, blonde, and like gorgeous, like stunningly gorgeous.
Yeah.
Not a good casting decision.
She freaks me out a little bit.
And then there's supposed to be this internal struggle within Jack, the main character.
It's a pretty
Well,
short
not
movie.
main
You can
character,
tell
really.
it's squeezed.
Oh yeah. And that's I mean, it's going to be very hard to get all of those things into the movie at once, but like I feel like they just focused way too much on like Stanley Kubrick focused way too much on like ooh, spooky stuff, ghosts, murder, and not enough on the actual plot.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just me. Because the actual plot is really weird and creepy. Like Danny's imaginary friend that gives him visions that his dad is going to beat him to death with a hammer. And then he
Yeah.
doesn't tell his mom because he doesn't want them to move because he knows that his dad needs the money.
I've watched so many things like about that stuff. Yeah. It's hard. I can't imagine. Like, it's the same thing like making food. You have this vision and you can't fit it all in like one thing. And then that people want to actually accept it and be like, oh, that wasn't so weird. Because,
Yeah.
you know, most people, like, there's people that really respect stuff that goes off the wall. Yeah.
That's me.
Same.
Because honestly, I'm like, wow, they made that into
I
a
will
movie?
purposefully get something, even if I don't think it sounds good, if it's, you know, if like it's a meal that is taking a risk.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll
'Cause
do
I
the
wanna
same
try
thing
it.
because I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
I never thought of that. That's the same way with the movies, but I can't imagine trying to package it for like all of, be like, make money.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that.
Yeah,
Go for
it's,
it. Prosper.
it's like the whole like Lord of the Rings thing where you've got so much that you have to put it into 3 movies, but it's like it's
I think they did a good job.
Yeah,
they did, but there is still a lot that they left out.
Well, that's why you just have to be a nerd and read the book.
Well, then
Yeah,
they
well,
went
yeah,
the
I feel-
opposite
You're
direction.
just like,
Then they
there's
went
no
the opposite
shortcuts with
direction,
Tolkien.
and they made The Hobbit, and it was like this should have
Because
been
Del Toro
one
was,
movie,
Del Toro
maybe
just
2.
took The
So-
Hobbit, opened it up, and shat inside of it.
Oh, yeah.
I was so fucking pissed.
The Hobbit, the cartoon version one,
Oh yeah,
isn't it the best?
Mm-hmm.
I love that one.
It was
the old Lord of the Rings, like
I'm
the oh my god,
talking about
the
it. You're talking about the animated, like
where it was like
80s one.
like half animated but half like real people in it,
Yeah.
and it was like kind of weaved together, and it was like really fucking creepy as a kid. I still remember like the songs, like whenever Frodo got his finger bitten off by Smeagol, and like the end, like it was shit's awesome. I've got it somewhere to watch it again. I tried watching it one time. I was like, man, this is really shitty. Like, but
I remember the first time that I realized that like a ton of Led Zeppelin songs are about Lord of the Rings characters.
I never listened to much Led Zeppelin, so
Yeah, a lot of their songs have Lord of the Rings references in them.
didn't know that. I've read all, obviously the trilogy, and then The Hobbit a lot, and then I've got another book that was part of J.R.R. Tolkien's works, and then his son came in and like almost finished it, and it was separated. It wasn't like
I think Justin just got this book.
yeah. And I've read that one, and then I've got the Silmarillion, and I've opened it up like 8 times to like read it, and got through like 2 pages, and I'm like, it's just like
I'll tell you what you should read if you get the chance. One of my favorite authors to read, H.P. Lovecraft.
are there,
I got the Necronomicon with all of the works. I am still
that doesn't
really,
interest me, honestly. It just
really
doesn't.
triggered by the fact that we're probably not going to get a Benicio del Toro directed at the Mountains of Madness. Because I really wanted to see him direct a movie that had Cthulhu in it, but it has once again been pulled from production as far as I know. So I don't think we're getting it. So you're winterizing the truck. What are you going to be doing over the winter?
So we just finished up our last event yesterday up in Morgantown, and the biggest problem with the food truck is shutting it down in the winter, because then you got to go back to like other jobs.
Normal life.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, Petunia, you're tucked in for the winter. We'll see you when it warms up. So, and also one of our other issues was just finding a place to park that was consistent for people to find us. And we started looking at permanent spots, restaurant possibly, but we still want to keep Petunia and do festivals and travel around. But we've been looking at a location. We're going to start renovations this month, and we're shooting for like a early spring opening
Where is this location?
in Fairmont.
Okay. Are you going to post updates?
Yeah,
On your
I think
social
we'll
media?
probably we're gonna try and keep the location somewhat of a secret, and maybe I'll
have,
just
like,
be
a big
posting
grand
pictures. Maybe try to just like find us. I don't know, scavenger hunt kind of thing. I love scavenger hunt. Yeah, just have people find where we are, and that's it's just easier for people to find us.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I get the same. You're just frustrated. Like, I want to come eat your food, but like, where are you? And I didn't make it before I got out of work, and so yeah.
That's like, I'm really stoked that Hermesea has opened up a second location,
Up there.
because I mean, the one that we have over here is like super close to my house, so it's
Yeah.
convenient, but like a lot of people don't know where that is.
Oh, I love them too. They're like family.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, shout out to Hermesea.
I'll tell you what though, you go in there and you get some hot cheese, that cheese is probably going to be real hot. Mm-hmm. They do not play around with hot cheese.
No, they're good cooks.
Is there anything else that you wanted to mention other than
It was really just to
Okay.
get it off my bucket list. So I
Yeah.
can say I was on a podcast.
you're on a podcast?
Like, business. I'm not making money anyway.
We're the least professional people ever, so hopefully this was an easy
Yeah.
setting. Ready? Thanks for listening, everybody. This has been Jed.
And I am old still.
And this week, we were wasting our talent with
Lauren Talbert with Wildflour.
Wildflour Jed.
Wildflour.
Wildflower.
One headlight. And we don't drive around with one headlight. We have both headlights.
See you later. That was dumb.
'Cause the sun